Good morning. Look at all these notes. Look at all these notes. Notes. Michelle, what's up? Mr. Reynolds, 6. That's an interesting position. Christine Young, friend reached out to me yesterday. Hadn't heard from the guy in about a year. Former CrossFit employee. Dear friend, love the guy. Kind of guy you'd want to do a long road trip with. Very smart. And he said, dude, I love your show. Don't ever polish it. I love the fact that it's not polished. I was like, okay. Good morning, sexy savages. Thank you. He meant you too, Bieber, when he said sexy savages. Look at that. Look at that. Caleb is back. Nice to see you.
Morning.
Is this from the Shadican?
This is from the Shadican.
Crazy. Did you see who we have on today?
I did.
Crazy.
It's kind of exciting.
Yeah, crazy exciting. Look, there she is. Bam.
Hey.
Annie. What's up, girl? Dude,
How are you guys?
Thanks for doing this on such short notice. I'm great. I'm super stoked.
Of course. I'm sorry for a late reply. And then I was like, oh my God, I haven't talked to Sevan. And then I checked the date and the time. I'm like, that's actually perfect. I am ready tomorrow.
I love it. It's my favorite part of I got a call. I don't know, yesterday at some point, Susan said, oh, Annie replied. I'm like, let's do it. And I go, when? He goes, tomorrow. I go, let's do it. I love it. Cave Dastro, I thought Annie was clickbait. Yeah, so did I. She saw that we were clickbaiting her and she goes, you don't have to do that. I'll come on. Hey,
I'm here.
Yeah, where are you?
In Iceland right now.
But I mean the actual scene. You're like, are you at a coffee shop? What's up with the painting?
No, I'm in my living room.
Okay.
And wait.
Who painted that?
Here's a picture that Freya drew next to.
Yes.
She knows how to use that, like, what's that called? Like that blue thing that you can put on pictures, like, or things to get them stuck together.
Glue?
No, like
adhesive
things.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Yeah. So now she will like draw a picture or paint a picture and then she'll just put it on the walls. So yeah, it's decorative here.
I wonder I wonder what your tolerance is going to be compared to Frederick's. My kids completely covered one wall in my bedroom and my wife's tolerance is very high, but I'm like, 20 pictures is good, but they want to wallpaper it.
Oh, this is the living room. So I gradually like just make them disappear.
Yes.
I don't throw the pictures out. I store them for way longer than Frederick thinks I should store them.
Yes.
And just in case Freya will ask for the picture, I need to be ready.
I when I pull them down, I feel guilty the same way I feel guilty. Well, you don't really have bugs in Iceland, but sometimes I feel guilty for killing a bug instead of taking it outside. And that's how I feel a little bit of guilt each one I pull down, just a little bit. It goes away quickly.
A new one will come up in its place, so it'll be okay. We actually just bought these like picture frames that you can put like multiple of those pictures into.
I bought that too. Did Instagram sell that to you?
Yes.
Yes, Instagram sold that to me too. Holy shit.
I think so. A lot of people are talking about this. They don't want the phone to listen to you and all of that. And I'm like, obviously, I don't want like a person to be listening to my conversations. But I love it when it suggests things that I like. I'm like, and then I forget a commercial that came on my phone or something. I'll like say what I'm looking for or what it was that I liked. I'm like, this hair tie that keeps it, whatever. And just hope that it's going to show it to me again. I love this feature.
Technology's crazy.
Yes.
Hey, what about the Blaze Pods? They're always trying to get me to buy those. Do you know what those are?
No.
They're those, you put them on the ground and they're lights and they light up and you work out with them. You put 6 of the lights on the ground and then you might be like, oh, these things. and then you hit them or tap them, or you put them on a wall. They're training lights.
Oh, how fun. So it's like agility and
Yeah, just kind of just like a gimmick, but to keep you engaged. You know what I mean? Kind of like to inspire you. Like how I'm guessing kind of like how a new pair of shoes would do. But here's the thing, you need to once you buy them, then you have to do a $10 a month subscription, and that's the only reason why I haven't bought them. I'm like, I feel like I'm being manipulated. It's $500 for the lights and then $10 a month for a subscription. I'm like, I don't know.
That's a smart concept.
Yeah, great, right? I bet you they're
I tried this thing at the gym, like hotel gym that had those on the wall where you had to like press the lights and they gave you like a score or something afterwards and competed against like my family and that. Like that's actually great. I think it would be very good for you as an athlete also just to like develop staying mentally engaged when you're under fatigue. Yami has actually had us do a shit ton of those. Do you know what Stroop is?
No, spell it for me.
Stroop.
Stroop.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like a game. And it was like a specific app he even ended up buying like access to with multiple games. It's I think Formula 1 uses it a lot. Yeah, Stroop effect. So then we would have intervals and so you need to like press the right color of what the word is saying, not like follow the color of the letters. Whatever. It's like, so you need to stay focused. And there's all different kinds of games like this. And he would have us play this in so we would maybe be doing a workout that took 3 minutes or intervals that were like 2 to 4 minutes. And then in the 1 minute break we had to sit down and we had to play this game. So your heart rate was super high and you're like trying to stay focused and do the right things in the game. And you could just see your scores just like plummeting when you got more fatigued. And then we started doing this actually like that's probably the most boring training I've done. But then he would schedule in like twice a week. We had to do this for 30 minutes straight. So just sit on our phone and do like different types of games, like reaction with the hand or look or whatever it was, like different games that you played. But it was mentally fatiguing, like it was draining.
Yami's been your coach for more than 10 years and he runs the training plan. Yami Tinkinen.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
crazy.
He does. We've been working together since I met him first. What was it? Semis, it was called back then. Dave will be able to tell you the right things there if he's still listening. So I met him at semis in Halmstad, the same time as I met Frederick for the first time.
Oh.
Sectionals. Sectionals. Frederick just told me it's called sectionals. That was 2010, right?
Yeah. Regionals in Halmstad, sectionals one in Stockholm.
Oh, so maybe called regionals.
Where was that?
Halmstad, Sweden, right by Copenhagen.
Was it was that at Aleco's headquarters? No.
Yes, Aleco's headquarters.
Oh, I was there. Yeah. Crazy.
You were there?
Yeah. That was Miko was there, right?
Yes, Miko was there.
Yeah.
Everyone had like stars in their eyes watching Miko. He didn't compete because he was like pre-qualified because he won the games.
That's right.
But that was a fun competition. And that's where I met Yami. And just me and Simpian asked if he would be willing to train us, coach us for the games. And we've been working together ever since.
Yeah, that's wild. Hey, is he ever going to put out you think about, it's got to be one of the most important things you can get from a coach is proof of longevity. It's if not the most important thing, right? So your success is undeniable. And then the longevity, I wonder, you would think that people would be clamoring to get his programming, like clamoring, because he's kept you healthy and at the top of the game.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I feel like we've not going to say that everything is the best that we've done, but we've done mistakes and then we learned from the mistakes that we make.
Right.
And he's been really, really good at continuing his education. He's so, like, when you have people that are so passionate about what they do, they will excel in it. And he is so passionate when it comes to making the right training doing the right training for the right reason with the right purpose behind it. And that's how we've had to like evolve with my career as well. Just like me, what I did in 2011, that athlete would not have survived for this many years in the sport. Like we've had to evolve and change. And he's always looking for expertise in like endurance programming and strength development and like all these different, just see what he was doing with like the mental training and all of that as well. Like he is looking in different sports and different fields and trying to get the best equation for the best programming. And I do believe he is one of the most knowledgeable guys out there when it comes to programming for elite athletes for you to be successful and elite, because he doesn't just think about like one movement, but he thinks about the movement pattern behind that one movement. How are we going to make you as efficient as possible and your body and health maintain as long as possible? And there it helps that he's an osteopath as well.
So look at this. You just pointed out something else to me. So we have longevity, we have success. You can put on Yami's resume. Those got to be like two of the most important. But check out this one. You just relationship.
Yes.
Crazy, right? I mean, we see people moving all the time, and you have to suspect. You know, there's the saying in business or in workplaces: people don't leave jobs; they leave relationships. Meaning, if you really love your job, you'll stay. And so, you would have either have left him or he would have left you at some point, no matter the success.
Yes.
So the relationship. So he's able to maintain a relationship too, which is huge.
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of what I'm brutally honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I say things when I'm not happy with things. I say things when something feels off. I say things if I don't think something is going to work out. I challenge him. I definitely constantly challenge Yami. Like we've never had an easy season. But he listens and he doesn't always agree with me. And then I will try. He will give me his reasoning behind why he's doing it. And then I will try, and we will like, we have a trust. We've built a trust.
Annie, is there ever a time in the relationship where you've pushed back and he pushed back so hard that it gave you comfort? Like you needed to hear his passion more about it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like that. Like my relationship with my wife. Sometimes she'll say something and I'll roar at her and she'll be like, okay, I get it. Or I'll say something and she'll roar at me and I'll get it. No, it's not fighting, but it's like more adamant and like, hey, more conviction. And so then you're like, okay, that's kind of what I needed.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say we probably have that every year around the same time where I start doubting things and I'm like, okay,
makes sense.
I don't feel like we've done enough of this, or this year it doesn't feel right. I don't think you're focusing enough on like the right things or doing the right things in my programming and blah, blah, blah. And then, he's usually had pretty solid arguments.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's cool that you notice it around. So the doubt will creep in. It's funny. I do that to the producer of the show. When the doubt creeps in, you'll start banging on him a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's cool. That's cool that you recognize that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, through this many years, you better know your pattern a little bit. So we've had the same conversation, but I feel like it's a conversation we've had to have almost every year. But I think that's a part of our process, and it's a part of me feeling like he is in control of what he's supposed to be in control of.
And you don't want to be right, and he doesn't want to be right. You want to win. Win transcends being right at 10 out of 10 times, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
It's crazy. I wonder how many athletes have messed up because I see it all the time in regular life, day-to-day life, where people would rather be right than get the outcome they want. And it's a tragedy.
Yeah. Or people will listen blindly and follow blindly whatever their coach is saying or whatever the program is saying. without voicing their concern. And then it will bring doubt in the back of their head when they then take the floor and start competing. And I think that's a dangerous part.
And maybe resentment in the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So that's always something for me that I've always obviously it's a team and I have a team around me. I would not be this successful and have this longevity if I didn't have my team around me. And that team is a small group, but it's a group that's been with me for over a decade, most of them. It is Frederick. It's my parents. They've been with me since 2009 at the games. Every year they will be there and they're with me through the season. Obviously taking a back seat a little bit more and more with the years. Then it's been Yami, and then my chiropractor from London. He's been with me since 2013 when I had my back injury.
Yeah.
And this is my circle of the people that I trust to help me to get to where I need to be to win the CrossFit Games, and be the best I can be. But I still acknowledge and make sure that I am also monitoring what I am doing, and no one else is going to know how I feel, how my body is doing, how I am mentally doing. And unless I express those things, we won't function as a full unity to make me as good as possible. So me being able to be vocal about things that might need adjustments and not be too proud and always have to do everything just as it is, talking about it, making adjustments that might be needed to the programming if I'm feeling really, really beat up, or if I'm feeling too fresh and I can do more, because I know ultimately it's me that's taking the floor and it's me that's going to win or lose the CrossFit Games. That's not my coaches. That's not my team. I am stepping onto the floor by myself. So the responsibility needs to be in my hands as well. I share it with others and I use others to help me. But I feel like it's always been important. I can't finish the year and be like, nope, we didn't run enough this year. It's also mine to say these things.
Right. It's at the end of the day, it's all on you.
Yes.
The buck stops with you at the end.
Sorry, if you hear the drilling, there's some drilling going on.
I thought you ate something funky last night. My bad. Ken Walters, Sevan using corporate speak today. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. Not cool. Don't be mean. Hey, Annie, your gym is called CrossFit Reykjavik?
Yes.
And you have one gym or multiple gyms?
One gym.
And where? Tell me about that gym. Are you involved in the day-to-day? Is it a big gym?
It's a big gym. I actually don't have a number on the amount of coaches, on the amount of members that we have right now, but probably around thousands.
Wow.
We are a fairly large gym, so we can run 2 classes, kind of 3 classes at the same time, but classes start every half an hour. And then we have another area where we have then beginners courses, kids classes, the golden age classes, and we actually have very strong kids program and golden age program.
Oh, I like
that's going on, which is amazing. And then we also have mommy class. I love coming to the gym when I'm coming training in the morning. It's usually just past 9 o'clock. And on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we have mommy classes. So that's women either pregnant or with newborns. Most of them are just with their newborns there. And then on the other side of the gym is the golden age. And just seeing, I feel like we just have the whole broad spectrum there. And then I come and do my training alongside all of them. And I just it's a special feeling. It's pretty awesome.
I want to talk about the mommy classes, but I want to learn more about your gym. So who runs you? So you're out of the day-to-day.
I'm out of the day-to-day. Yeah. I am too busy and I won't be able to give it enough attention.
Is
So
Frederick involved in the day-to-day, or someone in your family? No.
no, not in the day-to-day. So we're 3 people ultimately that own the gym together. Shen, she is kind of the hat behind it, like the financial manager, and has been managing like the schedule with all the coaches and all of that. We have another guy, Thorisdottir, that's stepping into a lot of those things now as well. And then Everett, he's been the head coach since we started. So he does most of the programming. And then we have coaches, obviously, and Thorisdottir is taking on the role of now managing a little bit the day-to-day, like the coaches and everything on the floor. And I believe he will become gradually a bigger role and a part of the gym. And then Frederick and me, we are probably like the annoying ones that come and are like, oh, I think this here can be better. This here can be better. We've often been a part of like developing the coaches a little bit. So just like meeting up with the coaches, talking about how we feel like that can be better and more fun for them. It's just always nice. Like I saw it when I was teaching the level 1 seminars. I learned so much when I was interning. And then when I started teaching it, I felt a little sad that I could never see any of those amazing coaches teaching anymore. Does that make sense?
Dude, that's the best part of going to the L1s, watching the red shirts coach. Crazy.
Yes.
And Frederick was a red shirt too, right?
For like a little bit. He
Okay.
did the interning and never, and then just time travel, it doesn't make sense. Like me traveling from Iceland for a weekend seminar was just too much. Like I loved it, but it was just too much travel with the training and everything.
And you miss being around those coaches, you were saying?
Yes. So there you get to see them coach, and there you learn to become a better coach yourself. So as soon as I got my red shirt on, I didn't get to see that much of other coaches. Obviously, I could watch the lectures and all of that, but like, it's so amazing to learn cues. And that's what I've learned, like going around the world, like seeing different coaches teach at different gyms. When I was like at some of those headquarters where you have like those phenomenal level 1 coaches, level 2 coaches that are teaching those seminars, seeing them coaching classes is so good. So when you become a coach in a gym, you're usually just by yourself and you don't get to see others coach. So for coaches to meet up and just like talk about some of the things that have been working for them, and just it continues to make being a coach fun. It gets you like excited, just like training. When you sit down and you talk about your programming, you talk about your training, you get motivated and you get like, oh, I can't wait to start this. It's the same with coaching. Like when you talk about the different things and the feeling that you can make other people feel when they walk into the gym, and you're a part of possibly the best part of their day, and you're supposed to make them feel special and their experience be good. And yeah, I know coaches are not supposed to be cheerleaders. That's at least what we teach in level 1s. But dude, I love having a cheerleader. Like I love walking through the floor when people are in the class, and just me standing behind the rower or whatever, looking at the monitor, they will go harder because you have like that little extra gear. So like you giving a little extra gives them a little extra. So that's a little bit what we've been a part of. And then when there's something that we're very passionate about, then we get to do that at the gym. So we really enjoyed like endurance seminars. So we set some of those up at the gym where we work with heart rate monitor, are doing specific zones and threshold training. And then now I want to start doing a little bit of menopausal seminars, just helping women that are going through menopause, knowing how they're supposed to be training and what's happening in their body and all of that. That's something that I've gotten very passionate about. So I want to be doing that. So then we have that access and we can always do that at CrossFit Reykjavik.
My wife, I think similar to you, she trained her first pregnancy, especially before the twins. She trained every day. She, it was a little difficult in the beginning with the morning sickness, but trained all the way to the day she had the baby. She even set some PRs with some cleans. I mean, she doesn't have numbers like you, but I think she clean and jerk 135 for the first time when she was maybe 4 or 5 months pregnant. Just
That's
feeling
a
and not even pushing, just my
Yeah.
wife, there were other things she stopped doing. She stopped doing pull-ups because she would say when she would hang from the bar, she would feel the tension in her stomach. But other things, it is really remarkable to have a front row seat. I mean, women have been doing it since the dawn of time, but for people like Frederick and I, or for even women having their first baby, it's a remarkable front row seat to have, to see a woman grow a baby, a human being inside of her, and then also stay in top physical condition. And I'm assuming women did that. The majority of women on planet Earth have done that before we got to modern times, right? They still had to get animals, get food, carry the other children around. And I guess you're kind of doing it now, right? You were taking care of a baby, and then you're growing another baby inside of you now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
18 weeks in.
Did you mean to get have another baby?
I absolutely meant to have another baby. But this was not planned. No,
Right.
It did end up just. I never compete with a birth control. I just do better without.
Yeah.
And this literally happened like 5-7 days after the games. I was.
Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Like, were you being careful? Were you monitoring, or were you kind of because we are twins. After we had the first baby, we got lackadaisical, and then with all that stuff, with all sorts of contraception. But also, I feel like the woman's body, after it has one baby, it might be in kind of the mode. Oh, okay, I make babies.
Yeah, exactly. It was definitely, well, obviously easier than with the first one. We were trying when we had the first one, and that it didn't take long. It took 3 months.
Yeah.
But this time around, it just happened immediately, where it didn't fit with my cycle, if I'm being honest with that. But I can never say that it's like, we're very excited. I've always wanted to have more children. But I was very excited to compete at Rogues. I was super disappointed with the games. The physical shape
You
of
did
it.
13th at the games. Is that what you mean? Your placement you're disappointed with?
Oh, no. Well,
Oh.
obviously, I didn't want to place. I think I placed 13th.
Right.
That's definitely not where I wanted to place.
When you said you're disappointed, what were you disappointed about?
I just underperformed.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, that can happen. I would say I underperformed 2016, and then I underperformed this year at the games. And I honestly haven't really figured out what it was that happened. Like, training leading into the games was pretty darn good, and like everything that I can compare with, apart from the one at Maxis, that was the only thing I would say was like a little bit limiting going into the games, because I've had like this hip thing going on for a while. So that was the only thing that maybe I hadn't done as much as I wanted to do, was like a lot of heavy lifting. But everything else, I've never done as much running. I've never done gotten as good at like there were so many things that were like clicking really, really well.
You were excited to showcase.
I just focus it. Yeah. And literally, like, I would walk out of the event and I'd be like, I did my best.
Mm-hmm.
I really tried, but I just don't know what happened. Like, my legs were just giving in, and it was just like my body just wasn't feeling right. So the only thing I can put it up as is going a little bit overtrained into the games. And that is maybe me learning a little bit how I need to be, like, you need to evolve and fix how you're feeling. And I wasn't feeling great either. I was potentially like a little under. But then you also need to just.
What about in episode 4 of your podcast? Fantastic setup, by the way.
Thanks.
You and Katrina, it's killer.
Thank you.
And great podcast, great audio, great, just raining good stuff. I watched episode 4 last night, and you said you cried every morning before you would go. And I can't remember when, but recent. I was on a 7-hour drive the other day, and my wife was sitting next to me, and 30 minutes into the drive, and my kids were in the back, my 3 kids, 30 minutes into the drive, the dog died in her laps, just died.
Oh my God.
So we had the dog with us till we got home, and I had to bury it. So I cried and laughed for 6 hours. And
Jesus.
I couldn't believe how tired I was.
No.
Do you think that there was so when I heard you say you cry, because crying as a kid's no big deal, but as an adult, it's like takes a lot of energy to cry.
God,
You
you're
know what I
so
mean?
triggered.
Yeah. So you think
You're talking about
what do you think the expense was? A little bit of crying, 5 minutes of crying because you were missing your daughter, by the way. For people in the episode, she says she wake up in the morning missing her daughter. Do you think that took the edge off? No.
No. Because that was 2021. That was the year I came back where Freya wasn't with me. She was with me this year.
Oh, she was. Okay. I got my stories.
Yeah.
mixed.
So
All right,
that
fine.
was.
So you can't blame it on crying.
I can't blame it on that. No.
All right.
But how I'm thinking about it is that also like even it's so hard you can't dissect it properly. It is just like I've been competing this was my 13th time competing as an individual, I think, at the games. And me having 2 years where I've been off is maybe just life. Like maybe you can't really blame it on any one specific thing. Maybe it is just like you're trying to peak at the right time and something is just off and it's just life. Like it sucks. It's super frustrating. And that's why after the games, I was like, shit, like I'm going to show everyone what I can do at Rogues. Like this is not what I wanted. And then I saw the Tios competing and I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to just like get to compete against her again. And alongside, like that got me super excited too. So like I was so ready to just ramp and get ready for Rogues. And then I was like, oh, I'm pregnant. So, but super happy with it though. Like it was never a sad moment. The only sad thing was like, I can't get to show everyone. But at the same time, I think after performances like this, it gives me the biggest drive to compete. And it usually brings the best out of me. So I think it will just increase the odds even more that I will come back from second kid even stronger.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you already thought about that coming back?
I always do 1 year at a time. And of course, I can't say that I am going to come back and win the games again. Like, I can't do that. However, the way that I'm feeling right now, I don't see why I wouldn't come back on the competition floor and compete again. I am training that way through my pregnancy that my body will recover as well as possible. I am trying to increase my VO2 max. There were incredible things that also came with my pregnancy from being pregnant with Freya. But of course, you can't know how the birth is going to be. Like it can't be a lot worse than when I had Freya. But just
what happened with Freya? You lost a lot of blood during the pregnancy?
No, during the birth. The birth was just like we can just say it was a very, very traumatic experience.
How are you now? My wife had a miscarriage and lost so much blood that her skin, she was like yellow for 6 months. It was crazy.
It's insane. I'm so sorry to hear that, by the way.
Yeah. It was a while back. I mean, when that happens too, you're just happy that she's okay. She did good. Thank you for saying that. But as long as she was okay, it was like we were good.
And that was the thing. Like after having Freya, I wasn't thinking about like, oh, I need to get to the competition floor again. It was just like, it's fine. And thinking back, even though that was a traumatic like birth, it was a beautiful experience still because I am healthy and my child is healthy.
Yeah.
It was just an injury that I had to recover from. And I think that's kind of how you need to look at it. Like the pelvic floor just got severely injured. And I know how to train after injury. I know how to get myself back together after injury. There was just a very different one that I had to learn to recover from. But that's kind of the way you need to think about it. But like traumatic birth and a bad birth, it was very difficult and it was really hard. But I would say the hardest experience was also just like not knowing if your kid is okay, if that makes sense. Like, is she fine after this? Like she was getting so lactic, but that's making me even more determined that the right thing for me to do was to train throughout my pregnancy, because Freya, she like recovered. They had like a heart rate monitor on her, like on her head, to monitor her while I was giving birth, and just seeing how she was recovering every single time was amazing. So, and when she came out, she's like so big and strong and just like could lift her head and everything. Just
Did you get to take her home, Annie, when you went home?
When?
Did you get to take her home when you went home?
Oh yeah, she actually graduated
Awesome.
like the day after, like we had her. She could have gone home, but I wasn't allowed to go home for 2 days. So
Right.
she stayed with me for 2 days at the hospital.
So my wife had a miscarriage, then we had a baby, then she had another miscarriage. Then after that second miscarriage, that when she lost all that blood, she was like, "Hey man, I don't think we should do this again." I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "That was too much on my body. I lost too much blood." Then she got pregnant again, and being careless, but she was scared for a little bit. She was for like 24 hours. Before she could get her head right. Were you scared when you got pregnant again, thinking about the other birth? No, you were just like,
no, because I would do it all again.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Like I would do it all over, because we're both healthy, and she is the biggest gift I've ever. This is the most.
That's you and the baby?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Wow.
So I wouldn't. The only thing I can say is the doctors should have put me into C-section.
Yeah.
Sooner.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up not having it. We ended up getting everything done, but like that probably would have been safer. But since everything went great, I'm not scared.
So you did have a C-section, or you did not?
I did not.
You did not? Wow.
No. But this time around, so in Iceland, this is very different from the United States.
Mhm.
You cannot just go like, I want to schedule a C-section. Like that's not an option in Iceland. You give birth.
Great.
However, if you have a bad birth or experience like I did, then you're allowed to choose. So, well, it's very likely that I will have a C-section this time around. If Frederick or my mom would hear that I'm saying likely, they would snap and get pretty upset, but it is my decision.
Yeah.
Just because you also have to think about like the toll it takes on, like the toll it took on you.
Right.
When your wife had this miscarriage, like the toll it took on Frederick.
Right.
To go through this experience as well. He was worried for me, and he was worried for our child.
Right.
The only thing I'm nervous about is I don't want to have another experience like that.
Yeah.
Because of Freya. Like, I don't want to come home from the hospital with a new child and so broken, not being able to take properly care of myself, her baby brother, and not give her enough attention either.
That's what you're having? You're having a boy?
I'm having a boy.
You're gonna have one of each. Crazy.
Yeah, one of each. So like I don't want to do that to her.
Yeah. So when you were planning on ramping up for Rogue, and then you get pregnant, how did that take you any time to process? Was there like a 48-hour window where you were like, where you mourned Rogue, or a 24-hour, or no? You just like
excitement first.
Yeah.
And then like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. And everyone around you's excited, right? Like no one, like you're the only one who's like, man, Rogue would have been fun. Couldn't we wait until after Rogue?
I think Frederick understood because he's in it with me, you know, but he was so ready. He was just like, what?
And your mom and dad too were probably.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But they weren't with me when we found out. So it was just us in the beginning. And once I told them, I was like perfectly, I would say it was excitement in the beginning. And then I was like, oh shit, that means Rogue isn't happening. So then it was like a little, I would say, give or take like 20, 30 minutes where you were like, less, 5-10 minutes where you were like, oh no, but now I won't be able to compete at Rogues. And then it's like, you know what? This was meant to be. This This is what was supposed to happen.
When is the due date for the baby?
It's beginning of May.
And so theoretically, you could have the baby and be ready for the 2025 games in your head.
Oh, absolutely. This is that would be
I thought you were going to be like, well, let's not go there. But you're like, no, absolutely.
oh, it's more time than I had to get ready for competing after having Freya. And
That's crazy.
dude, I was broken. Like I couldn't run for 7-8 months after I had Freya. So like me getting ready for the competing at the games that year, like still to me, what I did that year is mind blowing. Like I competed at the games and I podiumed less than a year after having Freya, and I was so messed up. Like,
did that bring back any of the messed upness, any of the injuries you had, any of the stress you had on your body from the baby that you recovered from? Did the games damage you at all that year? Were you like, ooh, fuck?
oh no,
No.
no.
You came out the other side like a boss.
Yeah, stronger. And I came out on the other side like more confident that I was okay. So I went even stronger going into Rogues after the game. So competing in October gave me those extra, like every month there were changes. But I think the good thing in this whole big picture is that I then took I was very patient and I took a really long time to help myself recover. I wasn't rushing into training. I wasn't rushing into anything. Like I really took my time.
How long before you went for, let's say, a 1 mile walk? More than a month?
Oh, way more than a month.
Yeah, that's interesting because some women will get after my wife had the twins, and I say this with no exaggeration, she didn't leave the house for 3 months. Yeah, she just stayed in the house and was breastfeeding. People don't realize, and I think because after she had the first kid, she went on a walk like 2 blocks after like 2 weeks, and she started bleeding, and she's like, "Well, I'm not doing that again. I'm resting." And like she just gave her body time to rest. That makes me so happy to hear you say that you did that. So you did not even for people to realize that world-class athlete doesn't stay still, has baby, stays home for a month, doesn't walk.
Yeah,
right. Just really, and that's called taking care of yourself. Say that again.
I would have gone for a walk.
You would have.
I would have if I would have been able to.
Right.
Plus, I lost so much blood. I literally, like, Frederick had to stand by the shower while I was showering.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I would be okay. I would say.
Did you lose consciousness?
No.
Close though, probably, right?
I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
But I was also just like, my pelvic floor was so messed up that I honestly just couldn't really, like, let's say there was a tiny downhill or like anything, I like couldn't do that without discomfort.
Oh, interesting.
So,
like if you walk downhill,
yeah,
the discomfort. Wow, crazy.
Yeah.
Do you still feel that?
No.
All gone?
Not at all. It's a muscle. I had to just I was severely injured, like very injured. So it's an injury that you have to take care of. And I went to see a pelvic floor physiotherapist and specialist and learned how to use my muscles again and get control and strength again. And it's something I'm still working on, but it takes a very long time. I was told not to get pregnant for 2 years. Just because my body needed a long time to recover from the injury. But like I started biking a little bit sooner and it saved me mentally. Like maybe you guys had a big place, but it saved me mentally to walk out of the door of our apartment and go for a drive and seeing that the world was still out there.
Yeah.
And life is the same and life continues and time heals wounds. Like that helped me. I had to get out of the house. I am used to being active and on the move and getting the endorphins from training. And that was a big change, having to just be lying down pretty much all day. You just get messed up. So, yeah.
Going back to your gym for a second. So are you even aware that they raised affiliate fees?
I am.
But is that even pop on your radar? Are you like, hey, because I was talking with someone the other day. I'm like, hey, if you have 20 things going on and your time is really valuable, right? So like you have 2 newborn kids.
Yeah.
So your time is really valuable to you. And I've even heard you say that part of the problem, the reasons why you don't like other countries as much as Iceland is because you can be really efficient. You don't get stuck in traffic. You don't have to waste time. I love that. When I heard you say that, I was like, that's exactly how I am. I cannot stand
wasting time.
Yeah. Like just be on. I don't like going over to someone's house and they're not ready. And now I'm sitting in your living room with my thumb in my ass. Like, hey, don't do that to me. But with you, is it like, hey, the Thorisdottir empire is so big that it doesn't. I can't even give that 2 seconds of thought.
No, definitely not. No.
Like, do you even care? Do you even care that it went up? Are you like happy? You're like, good, charge us more, get us some better shit. Or are you like, what are you doing?
I care.
Yeah. Okay.
No, definitely.
What are your thoughts on it?
I don't know if I should be talking about my thoughts on it.
Okay.
Well, obviously
you want to think about it and come back on tomorrow?
No, what scares me is that if I don't think some things are done the way I would want to have them done, then what do people think that don't love? I love CrossFit. Like I don't love everything in it. I don't necessarily need to agree with how everything is run either, but I love what CrossFit has done for me, my life, my family, and for general public just health. I love the training program and what it teaches, and CrossFit is going to be a part of my life forever. So of course I care when memberships increase that much, because what is it going to do for the smaller gyms that don't have that many members, for the gyms that have crazy rent that they need to be paying, for the smaller towns that will never then, are all the small towns going to lose affiliates now because they can't be paying that fee? But of course they can continue to do what CrossFit is doing, but
they can train it. They just can't call it that.
Yes, exactly. But I feel like it's such a big part of CrossFit is the community.
Yeah.
And being able to participate in the conversations about CrossFit, the pride that comes with being CrossFit, doing the open and being a part of the season. Like that's some of my favorite parts of the season is the open, not as an athlete, but for the community. Cause I'm like, all of a sudden, we're all doing the works together, and I'm getting to see how other people are when they're competing, like the stress in their heads, and like stress is good for us, man. Like it's great. It's not when people say, oh, I'm not going to sign up because it costs money. I'm just going to do it and I'm going to check where I'm at. No. You're taking away so much of the stress factor of putting your name down and putting in your score. Like you're participating in a competition. And it's a different mindset, whether you admit it or not. You're going to have a little bit different mindset. You need to make sure someone is judging you, and you're like judging how other people are doing it. And like, I feel like that's such a big part of this whole thing. We're talking about the workout for multiple days. Everyone, we remember so many.
I just want to say one thing real quick. That's a really good point. And I've done fucking God knows how many shows about the open. No one's ever said that. When you pay the $20, you're bought in. And it adds an element of stress you will not get if you will not get if you don't pay the $20. And I don't care what you say. I agree with that wholeheartedly, by the way. That's like, that's the difference of like playing tennis at practice and then showing up and watching my kids play when it's the competition, right? There's a whole different stress when there's something on the line, even if it's nothing. Yeah,
exactly.
You nailed it.
Yeah. So that makes me a little bit sad. And that's why this is hard for me to talk about, because I don't have the right answers. Because at the same time, maybe this will reward the gyms that are actually successful. Because I also don't like when there's like insane amount of gyms and they're all competing against each other. Like there should be some proximity.
Yeah, proximity. Yep.
Sorry, not my first language, but I am getting better and better here.
You're killing it.
When there are too many too close to each other, like there should be like some distance depending on how many people. Obviously, like Iceland is different from Manhattan, or LA or whatever, where you have so many people. But maybe you shouldn't allow in a small town to be multiple CrossFit gyms. But then it's like, how do you decide who's the one that should have it? Should it just be the first one that does it? Does he have the right forever? What if the other one is going to have a better? So like, it's really hard where I see problems, but I don't have all the solutions. And that's why I don't think it's the right thing to express too much about it. But of course, it breaks my heart a little bit that some of those gyms are not going to be CrossFit affiliated anymore. Even for a gym like mine, like it's bumping up a lot in price because we were one of the first ones to start paying
Right.
So
right.
we're like, I don't even know if I want to say what we're paying you.
Right. Well, if you're one of the original gyms, it goes from 500 to 4,500.
Yes.
And then you have, and then the level 2.
Level 2, I don't mind.
You don't mind?
I feel like they should maybe give the level 2 to the ones that are the owners of the gym. I feel like that would be fair. But yeah, I'm not running CrossFit, and maybe there's more pride that goes into it. As soon as you pay for something, you will then like put a little bit more effort into it. Don't know about that. But I feel like I think it's fine to put the standard up a little bit higher, even though I've seen some of the comments that like, it's not the owner of the gym that's necessarily teaching all the classes. No. But maybe it's the owner of the gym that needs to understand a little bit more of the fundamentals and being able to coach their coaches a little bit better. And therefore, level 2 is maybe a good thing to have, at least for head coaches, I believe. And that's not going to be an issue for my gym. We have, I think, a lot of our coaches have level 2.
Vindicate, yes, my hometown will most likely lose theirs. So that's the gym with 60 members, and maybe all the coaches coach for free, and they're there kind of as a community org, and maybe they go out. But then on the other hand, the gym that's 4 miles away, those members may go there, and that gym may benefit from that gym closing down.
Yes. Yeah.
How is CrossFit in Iceland? Still raging?
It's still doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would say it's just like flatlined a little bit. I think everyone knows what CrossFit is, and people continue to love it, continue to compete in it, be involved in the community and all of that. But it's the biggest shift I've seen is maybe like we used to have a lot in the morning. And ever since COVID, I think people have a hard time waking up early in the morning and getting back into that rhythm. So we have more at noon and evenings than we used to have in the mornings. But other than that, like everyone knows where CrossFit is in Iceland at this point.
Did you enjoy watching Laura and Tia go at it at Rogue? Did any part of you were you able to enjoy that even though you weren't there?
Yes, a part of me wished that I was able to like compete alongside them.
Yeah.
And you always think like, how would I do in that workout? How would I do in that workout? But yeah, I loved seeing them go against each other. However, I've always thought that Tia is like just one of the best athletes I've ever competed against. She is just phenomenal. It's very hard to beat Tia. But seeing her do what she did 6 months after having her child, that was another level. Like it blew my mind. I'm like, I don't even know what I was watching. Like, that's absolutely insane to me. I'm like, okay, her endurance, I'll give her that. She's recovered quickly. She didn't have any issues with pelvic floor, which is great. Was able to you can start doing a lot of breathing, and your endurance can even go up after having a child. So seeing the first event, I'm like, okay, amazing. She still has her superpower, and that was incredible performance. Seeing her deadlift, like what the actual F, that's That's insane. I know it's not her max in deadlift, but 6 months after having a kid, that I
Yeah,
don't I don't know.
it's crazy, right?
It's crazy.
So you think she wins the games?
I
Hard to bet against her,
believe
right?
what?
It's hard to bet against her.
It's always hard to bet against Tia.
Mm.
I believe she can. I believe it's gonna be hard for the other girls to beat her. But I also don't think it's guaranteed that she wins the games.
Do you know Laura very well?
Yes and no.
Yeah. She's pretty quiet to herself.
Yes. Yeah, she is. She and Gabby, you can see she's like loose around Gabby. And I
Oh,
feel
right.
like I like cracked a little bit into Gabby. Like I've gotten to know Gabby a little bit better. But Laura's a little more closed off. I still don't know where we're at.
Right. You
Yeah.
can't tell if she, me neither. I can't tell if she hates me or she loves me. I'm
Neither.
starting to think maybe she loves me and she's having trouble processing how much she loves me, so she has to keep her distance from me.
But I do have to admit, I've always been a little bit of a Laura fan, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But for weird reasons, right? She's kind of a weird. What? Say it again. Oh yeah, her confidence.
I really liked how she spoke, and I've really,
she beats to her own drummer, that's for sure.
yeah, like I think it's so dangerous when girls have started being like just believing the Tia's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And you're never going to win if you have that attitude. So I've always loved it that Laura just goes in with like, she doesn't care who she's competing against. She's going to try to win. And I like that. I think you need to have quite a bit of that. And yeah, I really like that about her.
Not a taxidermy deer. Sevan, Laura hates you. Matt Burns, let's see if Sevi has stones today. I saw what Dan Guerrero's posting. I'm not bringing that up. I'm not talking to Annie about that today. You got to DM her. Leave me alone.
I don't know what that was. What?
They're just they want to rehash the past. They want to go. They want the people in the comments are there's a couple just rousers in there. Hey, I've done a lot of podcasts with Annie. Annie's been very forthright with me. She's come. Oh, let me talk. I love you guys, but shut the fuck up for a second. Annie, what did you think about? I know this is a little self-serving. What did you think about me and Katrin at the games? What did you think about that? Like after the biking event, and I walked over, and you two were walking.
Oh, I thought it was great.
It was cool, right?
Yeah, it was really good.
She wasn't being fake, or I wasn't being fake. That was like sincere shit.
Yes.
Okay,
no,
good.
Absolutely.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too. And afterwards, I was like, "Did we really just do that?"
No,
okay,
I think it was really, really good because he has also been talking about like I didn't really know why we even need to be talking about this anymore. It's in the past. It's done. It doesn't matter.
Okay, good. But I was very aggressive towards her, and I just wanted her to I didn't want her to feel. I wanted it to be okay. I wanted it to be smooth. I don't want anyone like tripping in that situation. It's a special day. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But she was cool. And of course, this last year too, she gave me she gave me some incredible interviews, just some incredible shit. Yeah, it was good.
You guys are good.
Okay, good. Thank you. Does she do you miss her now that she's in the States and you're in Iceland?
Yes, I miss her quite a lot. But we do talk.
Because you called her from the hospital right before the baby came out. I mean, you're close to her.
Yeah. We FaceTime probably twice a week or something, but then we talk text messages probably like close to every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're close. We're close. We're also doing a lot of different things together. There's a lot of stuff we'll be doing that will be coming out next year.
Will you be at the games this year, you think?
This year?
Yeah. You show up there?
I don't know. It all depends on how things go. How baby is and everything. Because I'll have what
June, July, 2 months, 3 months.
2 month old.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Rambler Annie, I love you. What's your resting heart rate?
I think my resting heart rate is around 50. Just under, just over, depending on. Yeah.
Hey, thank you for coming on. You're so awesome. Appreciate it. Great catching up with you. Yeah, I so stimulated by your presence. You're awesome. Tell Fred thanks for letting us borrow his wife for an hour, and congratulations on the second baby. I can't wait to talk to you again. Hopefully, we can talk again before you have the baby. I'm curious how the second one, as you get bigger and bigger, how you feel.
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, bro.
I actually just went to see a doctor today. I'm 18 weeks in, and I just went to see a doctor today, just like a checkup, whatever. And he was like, it wasn't regarding the pregnancy. And he's like, wait, how far along did you say you are? I'm like, 18 weeks. It's like, oh. I'm like, what does that mean? It's like, well, you look like you're 21 weeks. I'm like, oh, thank
you. What a good dude. Hey, you can't even tell you're pregnant when you're sitting down, from my perspective. I can't even tell. So,
well, thank you, Sevan.
All right. Ciao, girl.
Talk soon. Bye.
You guys, what the fuck are you guys doing?
What's up, Sevan?
Everyone be cool. Everyone be cool. Look at this guy. Rambler. Or no, who's this guy bringing up? I'm not gonna bring. Do you regret posting the black square for $2? You want me to ask her that? That was fucking 4 years ago.
And it's Canadian $2. Fuck off with that shit.
Yeah, Jesus, Dan, be cool. Me and her had it out, man. We had it out. Be cool. Look at you, fucking Dionysus, with that hair. Did you get a perm, or that's just that's you?
This is just my hair. It's the beginning of a midlife crisis, I think.
Dude, I can't believe how young you look. What the hell's going on?
Yeah,
man. You on peptides?
Negative, sir. No.
Jesus
the only thing I'm taking is creatine. That's all.
Human growth hormone. How the fuck do you look so young?
It's this thing called CrossFit. It seems to work.
All right. Where are you right now?
I am in my office in my new gym that we just opened a week ago in Monroe, Connecticut.
Is it a CrossFit gym?
It is. It is currently a CrossFit affiliate since 2008.
Ooh, currently.
Yeah.
How long you been doing CrossFit now, Rob?
I think I started in early 2007. Just cherry picking workouts here and there, and then graduated to, doing it almost more full time in 2008. That's when I started sending videos to the media team at CrossFit, and then I competed in the games at 2009.
So you're approaching 17 years.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
And what's the name of your affiliate?
Hybrid Athletics.
And that's what it's always been.
It's always been Hybrid Athletics, yeah, since the day we opened. It's when I started sending content into CrossFit HQ. That's when Tony Budding was there, and he was posting videos, and he said, "Hey, after 5 or 6 months of posting content of mine, he's like, we just realized that you're not an affiliate. Can you do you want to be an affiliate?" I said, "Yeah, sure." Like, so we affiliated, but they were kind enough to just start pumping content out there for me.
Whatever this guy's name is, Sevan would talk so much shit on himself if he watched himself as someone else. Well, let me tell you who I did talk shit about. We talked so much shit about Rob. we didn't believe any of the numbers. We were like, and so I remember going out there with was I with my wife or was I with Carrie Peterson?
That was with Carrie Peterson.
Yeah. And we had him reenact some of the shit that supposedly he was doing, and it was crazy. I remember even being at Tanya Wagner's house, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna go up and film with this guy Rob Orlando, and he's gonna be fucked. He's not gonna be able to do that stuff he says, and we're like, oh shit.
No, that was actually funny, because when you introduced yourself to me, you were like, well, we know you're a fraud, so we want to come and videotape it.
Just straight up.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Damn.
I think you put us through a workout in that gym too. I almost died.
I did. Yeah. And then we did this thing. It was your idea to do a mashup of Diane, Elizabeth, and Fran. We called it Diana Franabeth or something like that. And it was kind of a mashup of everything, but it was scaled. Everything was scaled up and heavy. It was a fun little workout we put together.
Crazy. So how many years is the affiliate going?
Since 2008, we affiliated.
We'll come back to that in 1 second. CrossFit 845. Oh, this guy's going to come on the podcast soon. Ask Rob if he can still do King Kong.
100% yes, and I can do it very quickly.
Hey, King Kong is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's deadlift. Thank you. Damn, you're fast, Caleb. It's 3 rounds for time. One deadlift at 455, 2 muscle ups, 3 squat cleans at 250, 4 handstand push-ups. Damn.
Yeah, I remember when that workout first came out, there was whoever posted it. I think it was a Canadian guy posted it up, and I want to say it took him like 8 minutes to go through that. And then I was in my gym by myself one night, and I was like, I think I can do 6 rounds faster than he did 3. So I videotaped it and sent it to HQ, and they posted that up. I want to say 6 rounds took me like 7 minutes.
Damn. That was then?
Yeah.
What do you think you do? What do you can you do that now?
100%. Yeah. And it would be, the squat cleans would, that's the hard part of the workout. The squat cleans would slow me down a bit, but it's nothing terrible. It would be, yeah, there you go.
Rob, do you care if people in your gym are on steroids?
No, I don't care. I think what I do appreciate though is honesty.
Right.
Don't sugarcoat it. Like, do what you got to do.
The guy next to you isn't hating himself for fucking getting destroyed by
something. Yeah, like I'm a natural guy, and I've always been natural, and I so when somebody is right next to me and they're hitting new PRs every time they touch the barbell, and I know they're on, but they won't say anything, that's the rub. If they just said to me like, "Hey, I'm doing TRT because I feel like shit,"
yeah,
okay, great, then
yeah.
Let's all just be honest and upfront.
And we kind of have gone through. We're in that era, kind of. I didn't think it would actually ever happen. I don't know if it was Mark Bell or who did it, but about 5 years ago, it kind of became okay to be honest.
Yeah, like I just started paying attention to this guy, Kenny KO, on YouTube and Instagram. And he made this question famous. Like, he just walks around at bodybuilding shows and gyms, and he puts a microphone in somebody's face and he just says, "Natty or not?"
Wow.
And you'd be surprised at how candid some people can be. And then you'd see other people that just dance around it. Yeah, that's the guy. So he just walks up to people and he's like, "Natty or not?" And it's interesting, some of the feedback he gets. But
and he's not natural, I assume.
He is not. He's doing TRT. He actually did an amazing video. It's like a 1-minute clip. It's a YouTube short, I think. And he goes into it and he goes, "Hey, I wanted to put out a video talking about the side effects of TRT." He goes, "Because I just don't think people talk about it enough." He's like, "First, you're going to wake up feeling fucking awesome every day." And he's like, that's the first side effect. And the second side effect is that every time you go to the gym, you're going to feel like an absolute Adonis. Like, so the side effects are not what you think they are. It was actually a very creative, funny little video.
My buddy Andrew Hiller got on it. Got on it pretty young. He's young. He's not even 40. Mm-hmm. And how old are you?
I'll be 49 in April.
Holy shit. Holy shit. You're fucking old. I would have seriously. I was like, is he even 40? God, that is crazy, Rob. You are timeless as shit.
Well, when I competed in the games at 11,
motherfucker, like you better age, and I ain't dating a little boy.
I was old at the 2011 games. I was 36. I was like I was a senior out there by a good 7, 8, 9 years over than anybody else.
Your walker with your tennis balls in the back.
Exactly right.
Hey, so Hiller gets on TRT, and then I'm putting words in his mouth. I don't think he'll care, but so he gets on it. He loves it. He says it's fucking amazing. He says all those things you say. He's like, holy shit, it's crazy.
Yep.
Then he wanted to get off of it so he could watch what his body goes through. And I think part of the main reasons why he wanted to do that, if I recall, was he wanted to see. He likes seeing. He wants to be able to look at people's pictures, and see. And he wants to know what cycling looks like in the human body, what it looks like in performance, but also aesthetically. So he's experimenting on himself, which I fucking respect like fucking crazy.
Love that. Yeah.
At one point, he did say he got up to like 210. He's 108. He would be a lean 185-pound man, like crazy lean, and he got up to like 210. And he said it wasn't comfortable. And so that was the one drawback. And then the other drawback is, I don't remember if he was off for 3 months, 4 months, or 5 months, but by the end, he's like, dude, I fucking can't wait to get back on. He goes, why? He goes, I'm like, oh man, I nap in the middle of the day now.
Yeah.
So I guess those would be the two drawbacks if you got too big. And I watched that guy, Sam Sulek, try to undress. It looks miserable.
Look, yeah. Like when I was competing in exclusively in strongman, the weight class was 231 and under for the lightweights. And I would compete right at the very top end of that class. So I'm 5'8", and I would compete at 230 pounds. And it is miserable.
230 though, not that you were fat, but you were fucking.
I would carried way too much meat in the middle. It was not.
Yeah,
it wasn't a good look.
Yeah. And you did not look juiced up. You look more like you did not look juiced up, but you look strong as you look like a SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You just look like a brick, you know? And so it's like a TV with hair and feet. You know, so I got to a point though where, you know, I went to my level 1 and Greg was talking about Enter the Zone by Barry Sears. And I started reading the journal and I was like, maybe let me try something different here with my nutrition. Cause at that point I wasn't paying attention. I was just eating and eating and eating. And I lost 20 pounds pretty quickly. So I got down to about 210. And then I thought, let me enter a strongman competition. The next weight class down is under 200s. And I was like, so I had to diet a little bit to get into that weight class. And I just made it. But then once I started competing as a 200-pound guy, I mean, it was so much more fun because, you know, I was carrying all the strength from 230 down to the 200-pound class. And I just felt better. And you don't realize how shitty you feel until all of a sudden you feel better.
Yeah. Why did you move gym locations?
So during COVID, we were month to month, right when COVID started at the lease that we had. And my landlord was starting to, you know, like a lot of landlords, he just turned into a dick. And I was like, you know, look, dude, I don't need you at this point. You need me as a tenant. And I was happily paying him. And, you know, we had a beautiful space that CrossFit HQ used to come out and shoot at all the time. But
it wasn't the place I visited you.
No, it was a different space.
Okay.
Yeah. So we moved out of that space in June of 2020, and I merged in with a friend of mine who had a CrossFit gym right in my hometown, just a couple miles from my house, and he had way more space than we had. And so the idea was, independently, we probably both would have failed because memberships were dropping and there was no end in sight, like when the lockdown was going to stop and when gyms were going to reopen. So I preemptively just said,
you're kind of in a retarded state, right? Like what state are you in?
Totally backwards. It's Connecticut. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I feel you. I'm on the one on the other side.
Yeah, no, you get it.
Sandwich is in full effect.
You feel my pain. So we move out of that space and I merged my gym in with my buddy George because he had the physical space and to accommodate us. So we brought, it's funny too, before we made the move, I sent out a poll to my members and I said, hey, I'm looking to know how many people will actually come with me and make this move. Is this worth it? Right. And in my head, at the time, we had about 85 members.
That's how I know you're not corporate, because you called it a poll. If you were corporate, you'd have called it a survey.
That's great. No, this was, you know, I needed some information, right?
Is Santa real or not?
So I send out this poll, and in my head, we had about 85 members at the time, and I thought we might get 20 that'll make the move with us, because it was a 25-minute drive from where we were going and coming. And I was like, this is going to be a lot for some people. We ended up moving 55 people. So we merged our stuff in. and we opened up July 1st of 2020. And in that time, gyms were still shut down. They were still doing the social distancing. They were still doing masking. They were doing, and once gyms opened, it was all the ridiculous rules. And so we basically ran it like a speakeasy for about 6 or 9 months, where we blacked out the windows.
George was cool with that?
Yeah, no, George was fully on board with that. Yep. And we actually lost people over it because they're like, hey, you're not following the protocol. And I was like, well, I'm not going to. So if that doesn't make you happy, then this probably isn't the right place for you. So we blacked out the windows, and we just ran our normal gym from July 1st going forward. And so that it worked out great. But the landlord in that space, the way the space was partitioned, he wanted to lease it out the entire back half of the building to one tenant, as opposed to leasing some of it to us and some of it to somebody else. So when it was time for us to exercise our 3-year option, he just said, no, we're not going to give you the option to renew. So he gave us the boot, and that was in the end of April of this year. So we've had to find a space, and it was
move. So you moved together?
Yeah. Well, so since the merger, George has actually stepped aside from the business. So now it's just me.
Okay.
And so it was basically just me moving the gym. And
was that cool? Was that amicable, or you guys got in a fight?
No. George is an amazing guy, and I don't know that I could have merged with anybody else, because I don't tend to get along with people, especially that I work with, and so it would have been really difficult to do that. But George is just like, he let me take the lead on almost everything. From the moment that we merged in, he was like, let's call this hybrid athletics. You can take the programming. This is your ship. Go ahead and run it.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so you found your match.
Yeah. So George is great. And so anyway, we had to move out of the space that we were in, and that meant that I had to find a new space and do a huge demo and a rebuild. And this is now my 7th move in 15 years. And I just signed a 5-year lease with a 3-year option. So I'm never moving again. We're going to stay here until.
Say that again. How many year lease?
5-year plus a 3-year option. So, that puts me at 57.
You love your spot.
I love where we're at right now. Yeah.
Good parking.
Great parking, amazing space. I've got my own office.
Your
Which I've never
members are happy
had.
with the location.
Yeah, they love it. And it's a half mile from our old location. So nothing changed for them.
But you're also about to do your first winter there.
Yes.
Which is kind of important in your part of the country.
Yeah, last
winter somewhere. Like what if it gets so cold you can't work out in there or some shit?
Yeah, well, thankfully this place has heat, and that's when you visited the space in Stamford way back in the day in 2008, 9, whenever that was.
Yeah.
That gym didn't have heat for the first 3 years that we were there.
Damn. And you survived it.
Yeah.
And you had those stairs that kind of went. It wasn't like it was up. It was cold down there.
It's cold. Yeah, it was a basement. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool gym though.
It was a great spot.
It was
and you know what's crazy is that one of my members from back in the day, when we moved out, he opened up a CrossFit affiliate, and he's still in that same space.
Wow.
Yeah.
That gym was it was clean, but it's still gritty as shit.
Yeah. No, and that the new gym is like that. The gym that you're looking at right there, that was my Bridgeport location. That's the one where my landlord was a dick and we had to leave during COVID. But that space was absolutely stunning to look at. It was 100-year-old post office. So you've got these brick walls and wood floors, and like it was just an unbelievable place to work out.
What is that place still vacant?
No. So a personal trainer rented it out for several years. And now it is a church.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Rob, how the fuck is it okay to deadlift a 300-pound ball with a rounded back when they teach in the L1 that you're not supposed to have a rounded back when you pick things off the ground? Let's end this fucking once and for all.
Okay.
How? And why does my back always feel better lifting up round 100-pound D balls than deadlifting? Why does my back feel like I love picking shit up like that?
Okay, because that is a natural position for you to be in. Somewhere along the line.
No, not me. I'm never at face down, ass up, Rob. How dare you? That is not a natural position for me.
Like if you think back even just a couple hundred years, right, before people started to have back problems, this was the standard position. Like, how do you pick it up? I need to pick it up. I need to move it. I need to drag it. I need to push it.
You like how high your ass is there? Do you think it should be lower? Or you like that? That's good for you. And like your anthropometrics or whatever those things are called. That's good for you.
That is, if I look at that right there, I say that my entire upper body is engaged and my glutes and hamstrings and hips are ready to roll. Right? Like that is a power position right there.
Yeah, I feel so good like that too. I feel so much better picking up heavy objects that are round like that than deadlifting.
100%. And that when people come into my gym and they see the stones, they're like, oh my God, I can never do that. It's like, we're going to take your lower back problem and we're going to fix that with Atlas stones.
Man, crazy.
And
Rob,
so now you did it. Go ahead.
You were the first guy. No, you go ahead and then I'll finish.
Well, so, if you're looking at that video, like once I get that thing in my lap, you can see like I'm totally braced against the stone. So we'll go up. You can pause it, like go a little bit further, right about there. Okay. So now I'm braced up against that stone and my upper body is completely locked and rigid. Shoulders are tight, biceps all the way around. I'm trying to create as much tension as I can in my upper back. And then if you just go a little bit forward, you'll start to see my hips punch forward. And I use my hip and my belly. My hip and my belly are going to punch that stone and roll. So right there, that's just hips, right? So there's no better expression of violent hip extension than that I can figure out. It's like, how do I get this 275 pounds down?
Right there? That could go horribly wrong. Hey, someone just threw that at you and you caught it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's pretend that. So we have tons of pictures that I've posted over the years of people in these crazy extended positions with their heels off the ground and their hips forward and their chin up. And it just seems to work. And we don't, if there was this long trail of injuries in 15 years of being an affiliate throwing around stones, I'd be able to tell you that that's the case, but it's just not. We just don't see the injuries associated with it. What we do see in injuries associated with is people warming up on deadlifts, where they're just out of position and not paying attention. We do see injuries where people are warming up on snatches. Like that's where we see, where they fuck it up from the start. With Atlas stones, it's almost self-governing, because if you can't get it off the ground, then you're probably not going to be able to get it to your shoulder. So, there's very little risk of injury, and we don't have the numbers to show that there's a lot of risk there.
Ask Rob if he can do the Batman.
What's the Batman?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, it's a
Hiller posted it. I'll go back and find it.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, cool. That'd be cool. I don't know what it is, but it's a oh, here he is. Here it is. Oh, listen, Andrew has it. Shit, that was quick.
One deadlift.
So Andrew, this is my buddy I was telling you about, who was experimenting with the TRT. He wrote this on his whiteboard, not thinking it was just kind of a pipe dream. He said he liked to have it up there, and then he finally did it. 3 rounds, 1 deadlift at 495, 1 back squat at 405, 1 bench press at 315, 1 power snatch at 225, 10 unbroken ring muscle ups. This guy's really good at ring muscle ups, by the way.
Got it.
And 100 unbroken double unders. Jeez.
Okay, so can I do that? The one thing that kind of jumps out at me is the power snatch at 225. That would be a stretch, because I don't do that much anymore. The rest of it is it's a non-issue. I could do that. Okay, so I'll tell you one thing. So I started playing around with this idea.
How would you snatch it then? If you were you would do a squat snatch with that?
Oh my God, no power, no squat snatch. It's just like, could I power snatch 225? I think that's right at the very limit of what I can do.
Okay.
Just because I don't do it very often.
How are your shoulders?
They're great, except for overhead squat and squat snatch. Yeah.
Thank you, Andrew.
They just don't like those movements. So I can power snatch, but I don't do it often enough to get good at it.
Okay, what were you gonna say? Do you remember? I interrupted.
Yeah. So it was probably 6 or 7 months ago. And it was even farther. It was right around my birthday. I set a lifetime back squat PR. And I squatted 540. And I thought like it's interesting to be able to do that like at 48 years old. And, so I just keep getting stronger. And I thought to myself, let me do some squats every day, just a little bit. I'll just squat every day and see what happens. So I started doing this thing as a warm up to every single workout. So Monday through Saturday I work out, and every day I start the clock and I do an EMOM. And I only do 1 rep each. So I do an empty bar for 1 at the top of the first minute. I do 135 at the top of the second minute for 1, and then 225, and then 315. And then I do a couple rounds at 315, and then I'll go to 405, all for 1 at the top of the minute. And then from 405, I'll build up to 500, right? So the goal was to get to 500 pounds by 12 minutes. So I'd go from empty bar.
You did that every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
Every day.
Starting at what age?
That was like 6 months ago. So 48 and a half. Yeah. So I back squat 500 pounds every day. And I do that as a warm up to every single workout. And what I noticed was that that the confidence it builds is just insane. The strength and the testosterone gains and all the hormonal stuff that you get from it is amazing. But the most important part was that I was completely and totally switched on mentally for every workout. And there was zero fatigue, right? Because it's only 12 reps. And most of those are under 315. It's not that heavy. So, you go from 0 to 500, and then now I'm ready to work out. And I use that as my warm up every day.
That's fucking nuts. I was going to say this earlier. You were like one of your big thing in the early days. People would be like, Rob, how did you get so strong? And you'd be just like, oh, I just lift heavy stuff every day. That would be like, I lift heavy stuff every day.
And why does it have to be more complicated than that? Like this is my 540.
Did you know when you woke up that morning, you were going to attempt to break your PR?
Not by 18 pounds, certainly no. But I felt like building up to that day. It's not like I'm following any kind of program either. It's just like, gradually.
How much do you weigh there?
202. Yeah.
That's your gym. Yeah. That's your gym right there.
That's the old gym that we just moved out of.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Lots of steel plates, baby.
Oh yeah, no, we have lots of steel, and you can see, and if you look in the background, just behind me, you see the bench press set up. So that's our cold bar bench press. Like you don't warm up for that; you just walk over and do it. You just do 1 rep at that.
Are you happy with how low you went on that? That doesn't look like you break parallel. I mean, I ain't shitting on you, by the way. I know you're.
Oh, come on, Sevan. Let's play that again in slow motion.
Okay, all right. Let's do it. Okay, I'm glad I asked then. I do
parallel. I'm dragging my ass on the ground like a dog.
All right, let's see here.
I even freeze framed it for you.
Let's see.
Yeah, come on, man.
All right. My bad. All right, good. All right. I want you to get a reputation.
I'm not Dave Lifton. I do all the range of motion.
Damn. Sevan, oh my, what's GOF? Get the fuck out of it. Get.
I think it's supposed to say God, but
what's golf?
God.
Oh, Sevan, oh my God. What? Oh, that I asked him about that? Okay. Yeah, how dare you? Sorry. I know. Yeah, okay. You just got to keep
That's
it up.
fine. You keep me in check.
Crazy shit you guys wanted me to ask Annie. I can't ask Rob about his fucking depth in the squat. Jesus Christ. Okay. So you move to your new location, and then you get a couple days ago. You're a 15-year affiliate, right?
Yeah. Yep.
A couple days ago, you get a notice saying. So you've been around for a bunch of affiliate fees, raised at least 2 or 3.
Yes.
So you get a notice saying your rates are going to go from $3,000 a month to $4,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever hear from HQ at all, by the way, about anything?
No.
No. Okay. So you're just over there minding your own business. You're not like in the Craig Howard circle, like where you're on it, like they ask you questions or like they
No.
parade you around to score bonus points or shit like that. You're not on any fake facade panels. You're not on the PFAA or the DEI council or none of those.
Listen, nobody's asking for my opinion on anything. I would say the only person who has ever reached out to me for anything is Dave Castro, and who I always love to hear from. He's like, "Hey, I've got this workout idea. Can you test this for me?"
Oh, that's awesome. Well, he's the only person who knows you exist over there. He remembers you from the old days.
Yeah.
Okay. So the fees go up, and has you what your immediate reaction, and then maybe how it's changed over the last couple of days, if it has at all. What are your thoughts on what's going on?
I'll go back. I've put in quite a bit of thought on this because it was because we just moved into a new location, and when we moved into this location, we raised everybody's rates. Okay, but there was I think the thing that's different between the way it was rolled out with HQ and the way I rolled it out with my membership is, here's the difference. Okay. Once I knew that we were going to have to move, and we were going to have to move out of the space that we were in, and I started looking around at space, we figured out, all right, we've got a building. Let's go ahead and let's pursue this thing. Before I made a leap of any kind and started going down the path of actually signing a lease, I had to bring my members up to speed, or I felt obligated to bring my members up to speed and say, hey, here's the situation we're in. Okay. We're moving a half mile down the street. It shouldn't impact you at all. We're moving into a bigger, better, cleaner space. And it's going to be stable for the next 5 to 8 years, right? I'm going to sign a long lease because I'm never moving again. And if you're on board with me, I need to know. So how
do you transmit that to them? Face to face, email? How do you do that? Video?
That was, we did a Zoom for people to get in, but we also did, it was like town hall style, so people could sit in too.
Okay. That's cool. Dang. So that's some community shit.
Yeah. Look, that's what this whole thing has always been about. Right. And it's the community. It's interesting for me because I've been around long enough that in the beginning, the community was huge in that it was global for me. And I was traveling all over the place. I was flying the CrossFit flag, teaching strongman seminars. I'm showing up at the Arnold. I'm doing the Lake Tahoe throwdown. Like, I was out there doing all of everything.
Another road trip with you too. We didn't just do the Tahoe throwdown. We did another one.
That California road, which is why I reached out to you a couple weeks ago, because I felt nostalgic, and I was like, why aren't we doing that? Like, why don't we do Where Are They Now with all the people that were on that California road trip? Because I think there's a desire in the community to see that content. Right. So anyway, I communicate this with my members that, look, we have to go. You can't stay here. We have until the end of October, and I need to know who's in. So almost everybody immediately, they're like, yeah, we're in. Like, we got a tight group of people. We've got about 90 members, which is funny because I've been in business for 15 years, and I've always had about 90 members. It's never really gone up, never really goes down. We're a +1, -1 gym on a month-to-month basis. So I let some time go by, and then a couple weeks later, I had another town hall meeting, which was the more important one. And I said, hey, for us to move, the rent is more expensive, and a lot of you have not had a price increase in 10 years. A lot of our members have been here for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. I was like, I just can't continue to eat that month after month. And so we're going to level the playing field. Everybody's going to go up to $200 a month.
And what was it?
Well, and that was part of the problem, is that we had some people that were paying half that, some people that were paying $175. It was a fucking disaster. It was all over the place.
Right. Okay.
And so I told people, it was like,
so right now it's a similar, basically you're saying the same thing.
Same.
So let's just give HQ a ton of leeway here. They sent out a survey, even though that was a fucking disaster. But let's say it wasn't. Yeah. Just for the sake of this, you sent out a poll. They didn't even send out a survey. They had fucking retard Bob send one out. Mama dear.
Well,
What a fucking mess. Okay, they send out a poll, so that's what you did, parallel,
Yep.
and then they have people at all different fees, and they got a new owner who needs more money. Fair enough, and the same thing you said, we haven't raised fees in forever.
Yep.
So right now there's
this
right
is parallel.
now, yeah, parallel. I'm seeing it as a parallel. Yeah, pretty much. Right.
Okay. Now, the next meeting that I
Your
had
CrossFit, it's roborlando@gmail.com if you want him to do your next polls, not surveys, if you want to have him run your next one.
Yeah, no, I'll show up and I'll zoom right in for you. It'll be great. So the next meeting that we have, I tell people, I'm like, okay, we have to raise the prices. And for some people, it's going to
first time. Why didn't you, was it we being manipulative? Why didn't you tell them that the first time?
Because you have to, for me, I felt like I needed to take the temperature as we were going. And as I was getting closer and closer to like, I need to start knocking walls down in the new space. And I need to sign a lease where I'm going to be on the hook personally for the next 5 years, for the next $300,000. I need to know who the hell is bought in.
$200 a month that's a lot of money.
It's a bunch of money, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I said, but keep in mind this, when I opened up my first my first location in 2008, they were paying $200 a month back then too.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
how did those people get in at 100? Those were George's ding dongs?
They were grandfathered in to, they were family discounts, there were friend discounts, there were bro discounts.
Okay.
It was like, hey, I'm only going to work out twice a week. Hey,
okay.
Okay. So it just, I needed to hit the reset button and I needed to do it when we moved.
Okay.
So I tell people, the rate is now going to be $200 a month. In exchange for that increase, here is the list of deliverables that you can expect. You can expect 24/7 access. You can expect a clean facility that is better than what we're currently in right now. You're going to get all the same programming. I will take whatever extra revenue I have and purchase new equipment. I'm going to sell off all the shitty assault bikes that we have and get some new bikes. I'm going to get some new X, Y, and Z. So the revenue is going to get dumped back in here. And if you don't believe that that all of this is going to happen, like I'm signing a lease for the next 8 years of my life. Okay. So I'm as committed to this thing as I've ever been. And I'm all in if you're all in. Okay. And we had a handful of people that kicked back a little bit and they were like, hey, can't you keep grandfathering me? I'm like, no, don't you understand? That's why we're in the position that we're in. And so I had to have some of those conversations, but eventually 100% of the people in my gym made the move with us. We didn't lose a single person.
No shit.
100%. And so why did that work? Right. That worked.
Coaches agree with you? Were your coaches fully on board? Were they towing the line?
Yeah. We only have a couple of coaches. It's not.
You don't want a coach being like behind your back. Yeah, Rob's a fucking scumbag for doing this.
No, I'm way too honest, and I'm getting too old to sugarcoat things. And so I just fucking say everything. And I'm just like, look, if you don't think that I'm all in, I'm the one who's going to be on my hands and knees for the next 2 weeks, cutting rubber mats for the 10th fucking time in the last 15 years. Okay. Right. I'm the one that's just going to write over a year of
from that. I could tell by the way you said that. God, flooring sucks.
I fucking hate it. I'm never doing it again too. Like I will not do it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So you're all in. You're supremely confident you're all in. And if someone wants to question that, they can fuck off. Go to another gym.
That's exactly right. Go find
I love you guys, but like, dude, I can't work any harder for you guys.
Yeah, this is all I've got. Okay. So we have 100% of our members that make the move over here. And once they get here, they're like, holy shit, this is amazing. This place it's dialed in, it's clean. By the way, we were only closed down for 96 hours. Like wow. I did all of, and I had a lot of help from a ton of members that pitched in volunteer time, but we ended up, we worked right up until the day before Thanksgiving. We moved all the equipment, and then Thanksgiving through Sunday, we were closed. We opened Monday for business, full hours. So, okay. So now we go back to why did this work? It worked because I communicated it and I was 100% transparent and honest. And so I think based on the feedback that I've heard, and I've been listening to your shows and different comments, it just seems like the people at the top of CrossFit who are delivering this message are delivering it like a politician. And that's just like happy talk. Let me dance around it and let me say how we're going to support the affiliates, and that's our only goal is to support the affiliates. But what are the actual fucking deliverables? What are you actually going to do to drive a dozen new members into my box over the next year? And I don't
like you want more specifics than we're gonna. So I apologize to Don if I'm paraphrasing this wrong, but let's say I think Don said something like, we're going to drive more people into your gyms. That's not enough for you. You want to be like, hey, we're going to relaunch the journal, and we're going to publish content in it every single day. And we're going to get, when people type in, our goal is when people type in push up into Google, CrossFit pops up first, and watch us do that with our new media plan of publishing every single day. And then you'd be like, okay. Like you want something just the same way you said, I'm going to get rid of, hey guys, one of the things I'm going to tell you, I'm going to buy new equipment. And specifically, one of the first things I'm going to attack is the assault bikes.
Yep. Because they needed to go. Just
so you know, of the 4 speakers, Nicole Carroll did do some of that. She pointed at some shit.
Well, and that's fantastic. But here's, again.
But I agree with Don's talk. I want to give him some leeway because it was CEO, but I didn't understand any of it.
Yeah. I'll be totally honest. Like I didn't watch that. I heard you talk about it, but I didn't watch that conversation. So I don't know what they said.
Yeah. His was really, in the nicest way you could say it, it was really big picture.
Okay. So 100,000 foot view.
We're going to do more for you.
Right.
And when someone's asking you for money, that's kind of not enough. You need.
Okay.
What if they just would have said this to you, Rob? What if they would have just said, hey guys, we haven't raised the fees in 11 years. It's time.
Yeah, I mean that could be a thing too, right?
Yeah. That's what I kind of would have preferred.
Yeah, don't.
But then again, I don't have any skin in the game. I don't own an affiliate.
Yeah, I mean, and who knows what financial position CrossFit is in? Who knows what kind of pressure they're under to perform for the owners? You know, like
yeah.
You know. So anyway, I think that in 15 years of doing this. Like I said a little while ago, we're a +1 -1 type of gym. We're never like a net up 10 in a given year or a given month. And so when I hear people at HQ say we just want to support the boxes, it's like, well, support the box to me means one thing: put people in it, right? Put people in the box that have some potential to actually stay in the box for a long time. And part of it is I'm jaded because in the years that I've been doing this, I want to say that I've had, call it 5,000 people have at one point been a member of one of my gyms, right? I have 90 members. What kind of attrition is that? What kind of retention is that? Now, the people that I have right now, they're loyal. They'll run through a wall. Right. They're that loyal to me and to the gym. And, but the amount of turnover is ridiculous. And now what I've noticed in the last 4 or 5 years since the media team was let go is that we don't have new people walking in almost ever. And when we do, it's always word of mouth. There's no search engine that's bringing people into my gym. And I'm at a point now where
shit's a complete disaster for CrossFit. There is a complete disaster. It's been a disaster since 2018.
Right.
Like
okay. So like
2019.
Am I going to get this sudden? So now let's say my fees go up to 4,500. Am I now going to see this sudden influx of people walking into my gym? I would argue the answer is no. And so
what about? Well, let me push back on you right here really hard. This one's going to, this is what I'm hearing from most of the people. There's this sentiment. I might hyperbolize it a bit. There's this sentiment that like, hey, fuck you. You're at 90. You ain't a professional gym anyway. Fuck you. We don't want
you. Fuck yourself. That would be my response to that.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Here's what I know.
You hear that out there, right? There's people out there saying that. People who work
and they can fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Because at 48, I went to school and got an exercise science degree. I came out of school and I've done nothing but fitness since I was 22 years old. So for you to belittle the last 25 years of what I've done and how many coaches, how many classes I've coached, how many times I've watched somebody get their first muscle up, how many times I've opened the fucking doors at 5 a.m., how many times I've laid the fucking floor. You want to call me a not professional? Go fuck yourself.
Well, they are doing that. They're basically, there's a group out there that's basically saying like, hey, you're not a professional gym because you only have 90 members. And because hey, like $1,500 should be nothing for you. You shouldn't even.
It's not about money.
You should.
It's
okay.
not about money.
What's it about?
It's about. So I actually heard I think it was Sousa the other day.
Dan Guerrero, Canadian, $2. Go fuck yourself. Agree with Rob. All right.
Yeah. So like I've been doing this shit for too long for somebody to tell me that I'm not a professional at it. You can eat it. Okay. So I don't.
You were going to tell a story about some lady or something.
It came and went. It'll come back.
Okay.
This is what happens.
Let me see if I can cue you up again. They're saying that you will up the quality and get the more professional gyms by raising. Oh, you're saying it's not about the money. And I said, then what's it about?
Okay. Yeah. So it's
two old guys trying to remember shit. Two old guys.
Yeah, I know. This thing to me has always been about the relationships and loyalty, right? And my loyalty is to the few people who are still in the community now at this point, and to the 90 people who came with me from location to location to location, right? So I like I said earlier, for me, the community used to be a lot bigger. It was global because I was out there like literally shaking hands with affiliates in every part of the world. Now the community, when I say that, it's much more local in that it's basically the 90 people in my gym, and that's family and friends, and there's a lot of relationships in here that I give a shit about. But if I look back on the relationships that I have in the CrossFit space with you, with Greg, with Dave, like those are the people who I'm undyingly loyal to, and I'd do almost anything for. But then when I look at the $4,500 a year, which is $375 a month, I need to see what are the deliverables. What am I paying for? Because if I pay $375 for heat and electricity, I can see what I get for it, right? I can heat my gym and I can put the air conditioning on, right? At $375 a month to put the CrossFit banner out in front of my gym, when Greg is at the helm and my loyalty is to Greg, that almost seems like a fair trade. At $375 a month, without those people involved, it feels I'm less inclined to do it.
So there's an interesting line you're walking here. It's not about the money, but you don't want to pay for something you're not getting. And 100%. So, and you're also saying this thing that basically you're also hinting to the fact that if it wasn't for Dave being there, you might not be an affiliate already. Because the other two people you mentioned don't even work there anymore.
Right. And
so then at the end of the day, how will you make your decision? Will you just be like, okay, am I getting value? First, you have to define value. And I think sort of you did already. Are people walking in the door? And am I getting that value from paying that money? Right. So it kind of is about the money. You don't want to throw money away.
That's exactly right. It's like
kind of this sentiment too. That's kind of like, well, what do you care? It's only. There's this sentiment that's like it's only $375. So it's only.
Well, I heard. I think it was Sousa again the other day talking about, maybe you've got a gym with 100 members, and he was still almost talking about my gym, and he's like, and maybe that owner is bringing home $40,000 a year. Okay, which if you think about $40,000 a year, for the number of hours that you put in to generate that $40,000. And then for
If
HQ,
you get a wife and a car, you're fucked.
I'm sorry, you need 5 other jobs to cover
Yeah,
the costs.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
especially with the $11,000 increase in cost of living
kids.
over the last 3 years.
You're only going to have really immature people running your gyms.
Okay, so you've got this small income, and then CrossFit HQ says now there's a 12% tax on that. We want 12%, and that stings, right? So if somebody's like, hey, this is going to push those boxes that aren't professional, it's going to go push them out, and it's going to let the cream rise to the top. Okay, but that's a sad thing, I think, because there's a lot of people that really give a shit about the community, to the point that I think there's going to be a lot of people like me who are going to hem and haw over this until it's time to make a decision. And thankfully, I don't have to make a decision until a year from now. So yet next year.
So you pay your fees in December.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, same with Souza. He's pumped. He got it's like a 2-year decision for him.
Yeah, and one of the things that I heard you kicking around, or I heard somebody mention it, is that Greg's non-compete is up in August of next year.
Right.
And so that gives, I don't know what he's going to do. Obviously, we don't know what the plans are going forward, but like I said before, my loyalty is to Greg, Dave, and those people that helped me so much early on.
I wonder if there'll be a cultural shift. There was an interesting post made. I haven't talked to Greg about this, but there was an interesting post made on the CrossFit book where it said that Greg would actually pay the original affiliates $1,000 a year to stay on. Instead of charging them $500, he would pay them $1,000 to stay on, to maintain that culture. But on the opposite side of this is, hey, if 10% of the affiliates leave, right? Let me just paint a rainbow situation. 10% of the affiliates. Yeah. So here it is. What's that next line? The next line from that is, I would pay $500 per year per affiliates. I would pay the $500 per the affiliates that are paying $500 a year. I'd pay them $1,000 to stick around, is basically what he's saying. They're so valuable in their contribution.
Mm-hmm.
And to what is the brand, that he would actually pay them to stay. But let me paint this other kind of picture. You bought the company from Greg, and it's yours now. You own it, and now you're trying to make money. That's a fact. There's someone who owns the company is trying to make money off it, let's say. Or some people think they're trying to sink it. But let's assume they're trying to make money off of it. And so they raise the price, and 10% of the gyms quit, but they actually increase revenue. Overall revenue, let's say for CrossFit Inc., profit, let's say even revenue by 20% and profit by fucking 10%. And let's keep painting the rosy picture. They improve quality and consistency across gyms because of this whole L2 thing, this push to have the L2, right? Because in the L2, they teach you how to teach the classes, and so there'll be continuity. So do you see that as a possible outcome? Like, hey, fuck, these guys maybe did make the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be like, we just don't know how the community is going to respond, how these 8, 9, 10-year affiliates are going to respond, right? But I maybe that could very well be the outcome, is that there's continuity in the level of coaching, and that you pushed all the gyms with 70, 80, 90 members, you pushed them out of business, or they're no longer an affiliate. And maybe that's what you wanted. You just wanted to thin the herd. And I don't begrudge you that's your prerogative as a business owner. But I also don't,
because you did the same thing, but you did some of the similar things. You move locations. Well, the only thing different is you are saying you're enhancing value. You got a bigger, cleaner location, better equipment. Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. It's an interesting thing. Go ahead.
But I let me run this by you. What if they would have done this? Just on a pure psychological experiment. What if they would have said, hey, starting in 2025, affiliate fees are going to be $10,000 for any new affiliates. You have anyone who wants to be an affiliate, now's the time to do it. Get in at $3,000. As someone who paid, let's say you were someone who did pay, let's just say not you particularly, but just average Joe affiliate who's paying $3,000 a year, aren't you kind of excited that they raised affiliate fees for everyone else to 10,000? It kind of gives you some swagger. It adds value to your gym, right?
Yeah, and the stud out there that's paying $500 because he bought in early, he just feels like he's
won the lottery.
The best decision ever, right?
Yeah. Even though nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
There's a psychological fucking uptick, little dopamine. Oh shit.
Yeah, look at me. I made the right move. I bought in early. I'm an early adopter, and it paid off.
Yeah, and the guy who's paying 10,000 still getting a good deal. He just has to have the value's there, but you just got to have a different business model. You better figure this shit out. You better fucking.
Yeah, you're not going to have 5 years to figure it out. You're going to have to figure it out a lot quicker.
So have you in the week since they've announced it, or how many days have you gone through any changes? Have you gone from like fuck this, I'm out, to okay, I just need to take some deep breaths?
Yeah, I think my initial knee jerk was just like, and it's so funny that the timing of this whole thing, right? Because in 15 years, I've actually never used or capitalized on the CrossFit logo or any branding and any marketing. I've never called myself and made it public. We're a CrossFit affiliate and put that out on my sign. I've never done that. Okay. But when we moved into this space and I realized that we had been an affiliate for 15 years, and I was like, okay, that's actually something that I'm proud of, is that we've been part of this group. And I was an early adopter and I've been totally bought in for that long. We have a sign out in the road, and on the bottom of that sign, for the first time ever, I put a CrossFit affiliate since 2008. And I got the email from HQ the same day. And I was like, what a kick in the nuts. You know?
Hey, I wonder, I saw a picture of that sign somewhere. I'm trying to find it. It's not at CrossFit Robo. Is that hybrid?
It's on Hybrid WODs, but I'll send it to you right now if you want.
The funny thing is, maybe Caleb can find it on Hybrid WODs. I wonder if legally you could leave that up there, because you're not claiming you're a CrossFit gym.
So funny.
It just says that like you were one since 2008.
Yeah, no, that's the first time I've ever used it in any kind of promotion ever. And I was like, and it was the same day that I got the letter from HQ.
All right. So you're on the fence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't made any firm decisions yet. And I think part of that is just, as much as that, I tend to fly off the handle way too quickly. And as I'm getting a little bit older, and I think, to your point, it's like, let's take a couple breaths here and see how much does this really matter? And I have the luxury of time. So I've got a lot of time before I actually need to process this decision.
Yeah. So what's interesting is our affiliation is due in January. Some gyms get 11 months. Well, really, those gyms get 2 years, because you could probably, you have a year to decide, and then you can probably lollygag for another year. And what's interesting is but this guy, his shit's due. He's got to decide like now,
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. He got to figure that shit out.
And that's a tricky spot to be in.
Yeah. That's interesting. Hey, why not? Another thing is why not just de-affiliate, see how it goes for a year, and then re-affiliate?
Well, because I can tell you that, I mean, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think it's going to matter one bit, because like, you asked me, do you hear from CrossFit? Are you in the trenches? Are you out there doing this, doing that? No. And we don't use the CrossFit brand to recruit new people in. It's all word of mouth. So like, do I think it would actually matter?
So it's just an emotional decision for you?
Yeah, because I don't think it's actually going to do anything whether we affiliate or not.
Cave Astro, no, you're not retarded. Maybe there's just a missing piece, but I'll tell you. So he put up a sign. He can put up that sign. He put up a sign for the first time in 15 years saying he's a CrossFit gym. And then now the same day, he's thinking about maybe not re-affiliating because of the relationship with HQ has changed, right? So it says Hybrid Athletics, CrossFit affiliate since 2008. The question is we were laughing and joking that even if he doesn't pay his affiliate fees, can he still have that up there?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say he's actually a CrossFit gym. It just says. All right. No one's tarded. No one who listens to this show is tarded. All right, crazy. It'll be fun to catch up with you in like a year, 6 months, or a year. What about the open? Did you do the open at your gym? Wouldn't you be bummed? Don't you want to do the open at your gym? Is that enough?
This past year was the first year that we actually didn't do the open as a gym. And I don't know that my competition days are completely behind me, but I kind of feel like that.
It's a great community event though, right? People pay $20. They get to feel the pressure of competing. People like, you know what I mean, who normally would never compete and shit.
It's interesting. Like leading up to the open this year, I was waiting for some of my members to come up to me and ask me if we were doing it. And I would have jumped on board as an affiliate if anyone came up to me. And it's the first year in 15 years that nobody came up to me and said, "Hey, what about the open this year? Are we doing that?"
Wow.
Yeah. Which I thought was interesting, you know. So we didn't do it because nobody asked for it. How does that strike you?
I mean, the whole thing's fascinating to me. I'm the whole thing. When I just remember, I was shocked how many, when I worked at HQ and the open would come around, and affiliates would realize that since they haven't paid their due, Greg wouldn't bug them for their dues, but they would realize they can't log in and like certify people's scores. Yep. So fucking people would start paying their fucking like fucking hundreds, thousands, even, you know, you get up to date on their fees. It's a fun thing to be a part of. It's a cool thing. It's whenever I think if there were ever a competitor to CrossFit, I would think it would have to have something like that. They get with the programming crew. I'm gonna screw it up, but Chase and Bill, they call it the your yearly checkup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as much as I always hated the open, the times that I did it when I worked at HQ, I was so proud of myself when I was done. I fucking hated it. I hated the tension. I hated all of it. But every time I did it, I was pumped. And so
for me, it's like I completely agree with you that the stress and the pressure of the open, as when I was competing, it's miserable. It's made even more miserable because I'm a person that has never intentionally shaved a rep in my life, and I know that there are people that beat me in the open. And the couple of times that I qualified for the games, I qualified. I made the cut out of the open, and then I made the qualifiers, and then I qualified like dead last to get to the games. Okay. And then these people in my region or whatever that beat the hell out of me in the open and smoked me in the qualifier, they all DNF workouts here and there. And so I always had a better show.
You get to the in-person competition and they're just falling off like flies.
Right. And I'll call one guy out. You know, my fucking accountant smoked me in the open, and then smoked me in the qualifiers. Right. It's my fucking accountant. Okay. And I'm like, the numbers were laughable. And so for me, it started to lose its luster when you're like, these people that are out there just shaving this rep, shaving that rep, like it made it very difficult for me to totally buy in, because then I would go to the games and I would do really well at the games and I had this good showing. And I'm like, well, what happened to all these other people that just crushed me in all these qualifiers? So for me, part of it just kind of lost its luster when my accountant was beating the shit out of me in workouts.
All right. I got to have you back on in like 6 months or a year and figure out what ends up happening to you.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah. Hey, you the man. Thanks for doing this. What a cool show to have. You and Annie were both at the 2009 CrossFit Games. Crazy.
Yeah. I watched her get her first muscle up.
Yeah. Nuts.
Yeah, man.
What's interesting for me, that was probably the most memorable moment for a lot of people. But for me, the most memorable moment, for sure equal to that, was at the top of that hill sprint. When I remember you came to the top and I was right there,
Yeah.
And your breathing was crazy. And most people collapse, but you didn't. You just put your hands on your knees. I mean, there was bodies more collapsing than anything. Than any other event, and you were just like, and I was trying to talk to you, like, and I was watching you like regulate your breath, and I'll never forget that last breath you took. You were like, hey, Sevan. And I was like, he did it. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember that moment?
I actually do. I remember it very well because you were right there with the camera in my face, and to this day. Yeah. I would put that in the top 5 most uncomfortable moments in my entire competition career. And I'll ask you if you remember another one. It was at the regional in Canton, Massachusetts, in 2011. The event was a 1,000-meter run, 30 handstand push-ups, 1,000-meter row.
Was that outside?
That was outside. Yeah.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that. Vaguely. The row was last. Did you fall off the rower?
The row was last, and it was me and Eric McGee was to my left, and Travis Bajent was there announcing it, right? And he's literally standing between our 2 rowers, screaming into the microphone. He's like, Orlando's at 973, McGee's at 965. And I knew if I took 1 stroke off, he'd win. And I ended up winning the event. He finished a couple seconds behind me, and you were right there again with the camera in my face. I swear to you, it took me half a day to recover from that.
Yeah, that's that's awesome.
Yeah, that was a great moment.
All right. Hey, Rob Orlando, Hybrid Athletics. Rob, what are you doing these days? What's your business doing? You were you had these.
Yeah.
Are you still selling these?
Yeah, we still sell those. That's the barbell brush. It makes cleaning the barbell. I developed that thing during COVID. You basically put it in the palm of your hand, wrap it around the bar, and you can clean the knurling in like 2 seconds. And I was just so sick of cleaning the bars in between classes with a straight brush that I made a rounded brush that you just wrap around the bar. And so we sell it in nylon, brass, and steel, depending on what kind of bar you have. You can adjust the bristles. These things last forever. We're still using the prototypes. I actually think I made it too well because they just don't break. But
hey, I heard, I don't know if this is true. I don't want to start rumors, but I heard HQ is giving all the affiliates this year one of those. They're going to be ordering 15,000 of those from you and giving every affiliate. No, they're going to order 30,000 from you and give every affiliate too. That's part
Wouldn't
of
that be nice?
That comes with the new affiliate race.
In that case, I'll affiliate immediately.
Sucker. Hey, what else? Any other? You still selling the molds?
Yep, still selling the stone molds. That's the thing that we started cranking out in 2009 or 10, and we've been doing that since. And I started up another business. I like driving my car on track. I've got a couple different race cars that I drive on road courses, and a couple of years ago, I organized my first event where I rented the track myself and then brought some friends in. And now we do about 15 events a year. Each event is 2 days.
Is there a website for that?
No, this is the best part. It's 100% word of mouth. There's no website, no social media, no pictures allowed. It's literally Fight Club for guys that want to drive on track. So you have to be invited in by somebody that I already trust. And it means that the growth has been a little bit slower than other groups, but we've got about 700 people on my email list now. And, the thing has just exploded in popularity because people want quality track time with less people on track. So
you do tracks all over the country?
We're working on it right now. We're as far north as Watkins Glen. We do VIR, Monticello, Lime Rock.
Those are all East Coast venues?
Yeah. Oh, those are all East Coast so far. Yeah. But as the email list grows in different areas, it gives me the opportunity to go find new tracks to go to.
Because it's kind of crazy. If you do 15 a year, that's a lot of travel for you. So you're on the road.
It's interesting because all of the work is leading up to the event. Once we get to the event, I just hit play, it just kind of happens. And
I get to drive. You have time.
I do. That's the best part is that I subsidize my hobby. So no, it's been great. I've just taken this approach where I bring in the right drivers and we go to the tracks and I keep the head count way down, and try to maximize everybody's experience.
Any crazy accidents? Any Isle of Man shit?
No, we did have in May earlier this year. We've had a couple incidents here and there. It's basically just people that have like a mental check and they don't pay attention to it. And one guy sent his $400,000 cup car into the wall at VIR and just, spun it up into a pretzel.
Is he okay?
He was fine. Yeah.
Does insurance cover that? Does his insurance cover that?
You can have insurance, but he didn't. Yeah, he toasted his car. So did
he come with a Toyota Camry the next? Does anyone bring anything like that? Does anyone bring like fuck it, here's my minivan, I just want to see what it can do?
We wouldn't let them on course with that. Yeah. Okay. They'd be like a 4,000 pound roadblock out there.
Okay. All right. How about the new Tesla truck? Could you bring that out there?
Yeah, I bet you that thing would be interesting to drive on track. I've been on track with the Tesla Plaid before. And it's the thing rockets past me like I'm tied to a tree.
What is a Tesla Plaid?
It's just it's one of their sedans. It's like the highest.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard that there's a video out there of the Tesla truck racing a Porsche while towing a Porsche.
Yeah, and it beat it. Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's just nuts. It's nuts.
God, it's hideous looking.
Yeah, I watched a
moon. It's like a DeLorean. It's like, how much coke was Elon doing when he made that?
He said he wanted to look futuristic.
Dude, it looks like it's 1970s. It doesn't look futuristic. It looks like it came from fucking, remember the DeLorean?
I do. Yeah, I do. Back to the Future.
Yeah.
It's great.
Hey, there's not even an attempt to make it like to hide the fact they're trying to make it aerodynamic. That's what I like. It's like, here, these are lines that make it the most aerodynamic. We're not gonna smooth any of them.
It's a brick.
Yeah. All right. Hey, love you. Talk to you soon. Come back on anytime. Call me. Stay in touch. You the man. Love having you.
I love you too, Sevan. Take care, buddy.
You're the original Josh Bridges. I'm seeing it right now.
You're the man. Thanks, Sevan.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know why I never thought of that before. He's Josh Bridges is Rob Orlando 2.0.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. Rob was the first iteration. He's the Tesla truck with the current Tesla truck. We haven't seen the Josh Bridges Tesla yet. So people are chilling out. People are chilling. Oh, you fucking asshole. There's someone I want to ass pound, this Cout guy. Where is this guy? This guy who said you would tear you up if you were watching stuff. Listen, dude. I'm not here to bring Annie on and make it so she's like, well, fuck, I regret coming on that show. I ain't going on that show again.
Do you want to have her on again or not?
Yeah. What the fuck? You guys just want me to shoot my load and just like, I never even thought about bringing her on and ass pounding her. Well, the whole show is supposed to be me just like enjoying her company, hearing some some unique stories and about the evolution of the depth of her character. Oh, so now, if she wanted to bring that up, I guess now I'm reflecting a little bit. It is something that I am curious about. I am curious, like, hey, what are her thoughts on that? Especially since she said, oh, fuck, now you got all in my head and shit. Now you got me all frazzled. Because she did say that was the past, let's let it go. And then that got me all wound up. I'm like, well, I don't know if we should let it go. What, you got some thoughts on it?
Oh. That was cool, though.
Yeah.
At least, she acknowledged it.
Okay, I'll meet you halfway. I appreciate you guys wanting to know. Like, hey, has her thoughts on that kind of stuff evolved?
I'm also pretty sure we've covered it in other shows we've had with her. So go back and watch the other ones.
He's courting getting Catron on. No. Last year I was courting getting Catron on, and she said she would come on, but I've let it go. I'm not bugging Catron anymore. I'm good. I like where it's at. Maybe if they let me go to the games again next year, and I'm going to cover the games, I will pursue having Catron on again. You'll see in the behind the scenes. I had some great interactions with Catron. You guys are gonna like it. It's interesting. It's cool. It's intense. All right. I'm most proud of that this venue, the Sevan Podcast, is the place where we've been, I feel like, doing the most well-rounded, best, most complete, largest, blah, 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 all the good shit, all the highest metrics for processing the community's response to the affiliate fees. I'm so fucking proud of that. Look, dude, we just had two affiliates on. This is the spot.
Yeah, it was pretty wild.
I'm proud. Zero. I'm not humble at all about it.
Yeah, and 2 affiliates from 2 different ends of the spectrum too. You have like, I don't want to call Rob like mom and pop, but like
90 versus 1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
The smallest and still successful with the biggest.
Right. And I think that was the big talking point, was the fact that people think that, oh, well, the smaller affiliates, the ones who aren't aren't professional, are just they're gonna go away because they're not strong enough. But
I marked that. I'm gonna make a clip of that when he's like, "Go fuck yourself."
yeah, I like that.
Fake ass humble motherfuckers. Fake ass humble bitches.
Lesson for all you fake ass humble motherfuckers online. All you guys online who actually have money and have stuff, have nice shit, have nice cars, and you don't show it because you don't want to seem a certain way. Guess what, motherfucker? You are that way. You have the shit. So if you're not showing it, you're actually placating people worse. That's like the epitome of being facetious. You're not showing them your truth because you want something out of them. You don't want them to perceive you the actual way that you fucking are, dip shit. So the whole point is, if you really do like Rolls Royces, if you really do have nice shit, you need to fucking show it and not hide it, because why are you hiding it? You want something out of people, or can you just be you, motherfucker?
Yeah, motherfucker.
Why have those things if you're not going to show people? You're not going to use them. You don't have them.
Fuck you guys. Do my own shit. Placate you bitches. Fucking extra set of toe spacers here. Look at this. I have so many toe spacers, I don't even need to wear them all. That that guy Fern and I are texting.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw his message yesterday and got a little excited.
Yeah. I DM'd him yesterday with my phone number. Yo, we'll have him on the show, and we'll he said something about, he said he heard that I took a royal shit on him.
I saw that.
Big old stinky shit.
I laughed when I read that. I was like, and he even used the emoji. So I was like, yeah, he gets it.
I was just assessing his video. No hard feelings. Hey, so yesterday I went to the God, for those of you who think I'm a pussy, you're gonna love this. I went to the butcher, parked my minivan out front, sent my wife in.
Oh my God.
She got me 8 what am I supposed to eat? Ribeyes? No. Bone-in something? No.
Bone-in ribeyes?
No.
Strip steaks? New York strips?
No. What are some other meats? Not brisket.
Skirt steak?
Is it ribeye? It is ribeye? Is that
Probably ribeye. Those are the best cuts.
Okay, so my wife bought fuck gazillion ribeye. Yeah.
So good.
Let me see if I can even call. Let me make sure it's a ribeye, because that that guy keeps calling, the guy with the huge dick who's 5'1", 175 pounds. Do you know? Have Have you heard him call in yet? Have you been on any of those shows, Caleb?
I don't think so. I think I missed that.
Shit, dude. We got a new regular caller.
Hell
With
yeah.
a big dong.
Love to hear it.
Yeah. Let me see. Haley? Hello?
Hi, this is Sevan. Leave a message.
Oh, shit. I called my number. Oh, my God. What a douche.
That didn't even sound like you, honestly.
What a douche. Look at Eric's like, please don't let the big dick guy call in. I like the big dick guy. He's fake. You think that's fake?
I gotta see it.
I don't think so. He's 61, 5'1", 175 pounds. A big, huge dong.
Hello, you've reached Haley. Leave a message.
You know, when you call Danielle Brandon, she's like, you've reached, and she says her phone number. I don't think she should say that.
Yeah, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah. I'm going to call her and tell her that right now.
Use an automated voicemail.
Because, is it Colton Mertens? No, this guy's shorter than Colton. But anyway, this guy told me that I'm just supposed to eat, 1,100 testosterone. Look, Janelle loves that guy. Yeah, who doesn't like a guy with a huge dong? And yes, it's ribeye. Yeah, so yesterday I had a ribeye, and then throughout the day I had 4 Sogo sticks. And I felt guilty for having the Sogo sticks, but like I was fucking hungry.
So it's jerky sticks, aren't they, or something?
Yeah. But basically, I'm going to only do... My body already changed. When I woke up this morning, I already looked different. It was crazy.
Like lean?
Yeah, just didn't look like I ate 2 pounds of pistachios before I went to bed.
Yeah, the past week or so has been really bad. And so when I went to the gym this morning, I was just shitting my brains out for like the first half hour.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was nice. Felt good.
By the way, that video you made is awesome. You make some really good content. The one where you're standing with like your legs bent.
Oh, you want me to pull it up?
Yeah, on your Instagram, it's hilarious.
So my dad has a proclivity of sending just random gifts to us.
Oh, that's cool.
Just stuff. And we never really know what to do with it. But this was something that I just...
Oh, yeah, this is so good. This is so good. How'd you know what I was talking about? Because I was talking about the way you stand.
Yeah, and it's probably the only thing I've posted in the past like month.
Okay, let's watch this. This is so good.
But move it a little bit to the right. Yeah, a little that way. More. That's it, though. Stop.
Is that your wife?
Yeah, it's my wife.
Fuck, dude.
I know, right?
Crazy, dude. Okay, go on.
Wonderful. Hey, Park, it looks like a lamp. But it is a lamp, you nincompoop. But it's a major award. I won it.
The entire neighborhood would.
That's a clip from the Christmas. I just figured it out. But you actually own that lamp.
Yeah, we actually own that lamp. It's like it's literally sitting in our window right over there.
Does your wife think your dad's a weirdo, or she likes it? She thinks it's funny. Is she like, there's no way we're putting that up, Caleb? Or she's like, oh, that's cool. Let's do it.
No, she loved it. She thought it was great. She was like, we need to put it in the window. She actually said we need to put it in the window. And I was like, well, how do we do it? And then she propped up a chair in front of the window, and that's where it's sitting.
Damn.
Was turned on.
Oh, you should see what it looks like from out here.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
If I saw that and I made the connection to the movie, I'd lay on my horn. Like every time I drove by your house, I'd give you a double honk.
That would be. We leave that specific window, the blinds open at night, so that it just shines bright through the window.
Oh shit! I gotta call this dude. Hey, dude, I think it's sunny today, and I'm taking the kids to the skate park. I'm gonna call you. Fuck, I want to talk to this dude. Fuck. What do you think about this? Can I read you something?
Sure.
I want to see if it's a compliment.
Magdalene, your husband is a keeper. That's awesome. She said that her husband gave her one of those like lamps for her birthday.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. Oh, gave her.
Yeah, gave her. Her husband gave her one.
Okay, it says Oh, wow. With the droid, you can't go back and look at old text messages. Or can you?
Should be able to.
Oh, here it is. My favorite part about your podcast is how unpolished it is. Please don't ever change that. And I said, thanks, I think. And then they said, it's definitely a compliment. It's authentic. I hate that word. That's what makes it so much fun to listen to. I think a big part of it is that you do it live. Most people don't have the balls to do that. Well, everyone's doing it in our space now. Everyone's got balls.
I'd say that's a compliment.
You do?
Yeah. Somebody DM'd me the other day.
Our shit's polished as fuck. What are they talking about?
So polished.
Yeah.
But there's nothing smart about you, Joe. So we built.
See? We got sound effects.
You're retarded. You're just straight up retarded.
I got buttons. Go ahead.
Somebody said that they appreciated my self-awareness on the show. That's all they said. They just said, I appreciate your self-awareness on the show.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
Hey, I get so many compliments about you. Oh, you're so lucky you have Caleb. Oh, he handles you perfect. Oh, Caleb's dope.
Cool.
Fuck off. Quit listening.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Where is my police siren?
You're retarded.
No.
The great.
No. Oh, yeah. There you go. Thank you. I keep telling myself every night around 6 o'clock, go into your office, spend 2 hours, and just get this all dialed in so you actually can hit them at the right time. I will get there.
That'd be perfect.
Like right now, it's just a mess. I don't know what each button does, and there's... Did you ever set up any of your buttons? Does your Rodecaster work?
I did, but then I moved, so
it's still somewhere.
It's in a... I have it. I just need to set it up again.
We have sound effects that I record by hand on my tape recorder. I'm not unpolished. This show's crazy polished. Look at my sign.
Yeah, come on. Look at my walls.
Yeah. Look at your. Yeah, and you change locations every day. It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look at my tool bench.
All right. So day one of just eating meat. But I'm going to really try to stick only to ribeye. And I'm going to try to just make it just so I just eat ribeye. I didn't even eat a piece of celery yesterday.
Wow, really?
In front of me, yeah. I'm just doing ribeye. I'm going to see if in 2 weeks, if in 2 months, he said in 2 months I could take my shirt off with other people around.
2 months, huh?
That would be crazy. All right. Great show. Thanks, Sousa, for getting Annie on. That was fun. Tomorrow, Tyson Bagent.
Sick.
Yeah, crazy. Wednesday, Greg Glassman. God, I fucking love it when I'm excited about the show. Thursday, Rich Froning. Listen, guys, on Wednesday, Mayhem is releasing a crazy video. And then Thursday, we'll have Rich on to talk about it. And then, and then on the 8th is the two Jakes, Jake and Jake.
Cool.
Okay. All right, guys. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Caleb, thank you. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.